How are you today?
I'm good. I'll come hang out with you.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
got our buddy Dagda.
Hey, Dagda, what's
Sweet.
up? All right, I'm just getting YouTube finally started over here. I'm sitting kind of weird at my desk right now because I keep having to switch everything. I can't wait to upgrade everything. You guys, just a reminder, every time you gift, every time you send a tip over on PayPal, Venmo, or Cash, you chair so bad. And you guys got me lights, the chair. Then we got blackout curtains at my desk, and now we're gonna need to get a new phone because I jumped in the pool to save my dog, and my phone was in my pocket. So that's needs to be replaced now. Um, that being said, while there's so few people in here, I'll make a correction. No, last week I did a sermon about Rebecca. And in the sermon about Rebecca, I was really, really tired when I was doing it because I had jumped in the pool to literally save my dog one night and on New Year's Eve night, actually. Um, and I kept getting Rebecca and Rachel mixed up. So in it, I made some mistakes about Rebecca. I added kind of part of Rachel's story. I have now made those corrections, and I'm going to upload. I Thank you, Zach. I'm going to upload the new version on my Discord. So the old one is there right now, and you'll see how I screwed it up. I kept getting their stories mixed up because Laban is Rebecca's like brother, but he's Rachel's father. And I don't know why that maybe just screw up who those two women were. And plus Rebecca, Rachel, there's you know what I mean. The Bible doesn't, isn't very original when it comes to the women in the Bible. Just saying. So the new sermon will be up on Discord later. I already repaired it this morning. I just haven't put it up. TikTok is
Have you
making
written a
me
new
so.
one yet?
No, not I. That will be tomorrow, and I think it's on Leia. I think that's
Okay.
who's next. So that I think she's the next one mentioned, if I'm not mistaken. Because I'm writing one on every girl or girls, woman or women, um, who are either named or not named chronologically through the Bible.
Yeah, last week's was really good. It was, I mean, it was powerful. Like I
Thank
think everybody that was listening was just like silent and locked in. That's the way I felt it,
thank
you know.
and the mistake I made actually doesn't change anything about what I said. The mistake I made is I say something about uh when she has infertility issues that she has her slave um sleep with her husband or whatever, and I say her slave is one person, but it's not. It's Deborah. Deborah is her slave, and I say the wrong name, and then I say a little bit about their story wrong, and that's because I'm mixing Rachel's story up with her, and I got kind of confused for a minute in my late night writing, so I fixed it. It will be up with the corrections. And you know what? Nobody had to tell me. I literally went to my friends and I said, "Oh my God, you guys." So this isn't because somebody came to me and said, "Hey, Crystal, you fucked that up." I just realized it later. I was like, "Oh yeah, I fucked that whole thing up, didn't I?"
Change the message behind it, you know, like
No, it really
I
doesn't.
yeah.
Hey, Spence, how are you today?
Hey, good. How are you? How are you, panel? How are you, Crystal?
Doing great.
Hey,
Good to
Spencer.
see you. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you in the new year.
Yeah. I'm just as horrible shape this year as I was last year, but I'm working on it. So I don't want to interrupt your flow or anything. I had to chime in on this because I feel like if I don't share it with friendlies, I'm going to lose my mind. Um, I have been very, very vocally opposed to the whole Venezuela debacle, and I cannot tell you how many. It's like I opened up the Roach Motel, and I'm collecting roaches here, but I have blocked. People think I'm exaggerating. Probably 600 people in the last few days. All these people just sending me the cringiest DMs, the cringiest responses. They can't have an intellectual conversation. They can't have a debate about anything. And I started doing something. I wish I'd done it from the very beginning, but I did it probably for the last 300 or 400 people. I'm not kidding. I take 30 seconds and I look at their profile. And if may Yahweh strike me down if I'm making this up, 95 to 99% of their profiles have Jesus first in them. I love
Amen.
God, messenger
Amen.
of God. Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming soon. And
I
I am
you
just
could
so
be a
disgusted.
I am too. It is disgusting. Catholic, I'll bring it back up, but we're not going to interrupt people when they're talking to say amen. That's really childish and inappropriate.
I didn't know Catholic. He's one of my favorite blocked people, but I always still have to encounter his inanities or insanities when he's on other people's lives. But I'd love to stay on if you're going to talk to him. But
I'll bring him.
Yeah, the point I want to make is just all these people. And I'm getting it's beyond political. You guys, out there in the world can disagree with me about Trump. That's fine. I can have the difference between me and most people out there who support him is that I can have an intellectual conversation as to why I oppose his policies. Unlike them, all they can do is write a meme. They're not even creative enough to write a meme, so they repost someone else's meme, wear a red hat around like a dummy, and then think they've won the argument. But I'm starting to get them getting nastier and nastier. I got one today that I could not believe. It had a young man with Down syndrome. I mean, this is the depths that these people will stoop to. And making fun of my comment, basically saying that I was the R word, which is the word their leader loves to use, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So I looked at their profile, and there it was. Jesus is coming soon. Every post is a biblical quotation. These people actually think the Jesus bus is going to take them first to heaven. And you know what? They're going to be sitting there at the mailbox, at the stop sign, looking at their watch going, how come everyone else is getting raptured except me? It's because they're terrible, horrible people. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's disgusting. The people that are hiding behind religion. And then you look at their posts and they're all about bombing other countries. They're all about kidnapping other leaders. They're all about basically Bible stuff, right? All this stuff sounds like the Bible. Let's kidnap people and let's bomb things. They didn't have bombs,
That's
obviously.
Why
Let's, yeah.
Hey, we probably shouldn't say that word over.
Okay, but, sorry.
It always boggles my mind when people will say, "Well, that's because they're not real." That's man doing. No, this is what I'm sorry. This is what your God ordains. I don't know why you don't read this book and realize this is what he's about. They are literally following his playbook. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just I thought I was dealing with just MAGA people, but I forgot that probably 90% of them are Christian nationalists, at least. Maybe if not 100%. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's a double-edged, you know what, because you're dealing with people on a political note who are defending an indefensible leader. And then on top of that, they're throwing all their religious just religious bias and religious zealotry behind it. It's just double danger there.
It is. It really is. Well, good morning, twin. Good to see you. You guys make sure you're following Tommy J. He's amazing. This morning, instead of doing a sermon, I am bringing you a musical piece. Okay. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm not going to bring. Let me get some water. I'm sorry. I'm not going to bring Catholic up just yet because I want to do this musical piece first. And I want to, and then we could talk about each piece if you don't mind, because I think they're all very relevant to the discussions we have on this app every day. It's a little long. It's 3 parts. We'll talk after each part, and it is a triptych that I wrote accidentally. I was writing one song, and it became 3. And so this is my song or my triptych. This is Act 1 of A Seat at the table.
Good evening, Crystaljae. Don't be startled, my dear. This story comes in 3 movements, but this one must stand on its own right here. I didn't come for a single song or a truth neatly told. Some lessons need more than one room, more than one table to hold. I've watched you read a room before the words are even said. You notice who is pouring wine and who is breaking bread. A seat at the table, who sits, who stays, who looks away. I've worn 1,000 names before. They learned to write them down. In Anna, in the dust and clay, I started, sung by crowns. They dressed me up as Aphrodite, made me soft or sweet. But power always shows its teeth before it learns to cheat. So listen now, because this is why I chose to speak to you. You're starting to see how tables work and what they quietly ask you to do. Seat at the table, who sits, who stays, who looks away. Come with me now, Berlin. 39. Winter pressed into the street. A Jewish boy named Jacob learns how fear finds a way. His friend is Klaus, the German boy, grew up just down the lane. He swears to Jacob, hand to heart, I'd never speak your name. I know what's wrong, Klaus says out loud. I see what's being done. I'd never turn you in, I swear. I'd never be that one. But one night Jacob sees him there at a table warm and wide, pouring wine for men in brown. A swastika at Klaus's side, not shouting hate, not raising fists, just smiling, passing bread, calling it kindness, calling it peace, calling it nothing said. Klaus doesn't point, Klaus doesn't tell. Klaus thinks his hands are clean, but he pulls out chairs for Nazis and calls it staying seen. And Jacob learns what silence costs before the night arrives. You don't have to turn them in to help them take their lives. At the table, who sits, who stays, who looks away. This lie repeat itself, dressed up as decency. Sitting isn't choosing sides, that kindness cancels complicity. So, if this sounds like history, keep listening anyway, because the table is still set, and
that is Act One of A Seat at the Table. Any thoughts?
Love it.
Powerful.
Claps.
Um, just to address Catholic in the comments right now, just because somebody doesn't care that you're here doesn't mean that they're scared that you're here. Okay. I just don't really care. I If you want to go to a different live, and I'm here to have a conversation. And so if you are coming up to debate me and obliterate me, then you're actually in the wrong live. We're talking today about how people define God, and it's a conversation, not a debate. So if you want to debate somebody, go ahead and go to a different live. This isn't the one. And I'm going to continue with my little music production here for a minute, and then we'll get to guess, but it has nothing to do with fear. So often I have met on this app Christian men. It's usually men. I actually don't think I've met a woman yet, who tell me that they really don't believe all this stuff, but they see utility in it. And I think that they benefit from a system, just like people who supported Nazis did. And that system is harming people like me. It's harming women, it's harming children, and it's harming many people who are minorities or marginalized. And so I started thinking of writing this song called A Seat at the Table. And that was the first table. The next table we're going to sit at is a real true story that happened right here on this app with a real creator and one of my friends. And when I realized who my friend kept company with, I quietly decided to walk away. They decided to not be so quiet and made a series of videos about me, went live about me. And I thought that, and I had people who I really looked up to in the deconstruction community telling me that I was being too hard, that I was acting just like a Christian. That's what they like to do when they want to hurt you on this side, okay? They try to tell you you're being the antithesis of what you want to be. And it took me a while to, I still stood by what I did and I still stand by it today, but it took me a while to realize um, how it changed my life. And so this is Act Two. A seat at the table. Who sits? Who stays? Who looks away? I watch a room dressed up as calm, soft light, familiar charm, easy jokes and easy laughs, no uniform, no arms. A seat at the table. Who sits? Who stays? Who looks away? She's there, your friend, the gentle one, the kind you trusted most. She never shouts, she never sneers, she never leaves the toast. But listen close. They laugh about pronouns like it's clever with roll eyes, call it play. They say trans bodies are the threat, bathrooms where monsters stay. They say think of the children, they say safety first. They say it's not enough to make the violence worse. Your friend says nothing, she smiles, she stays. She lets it pass as humor and lets the lie replay. She doesn't say she agrees, she doesn't say she won't, but she keeps pulling up a chair where dignity is a joke. A seat at the table. Who sits, who stays, who looks away? I watch you notice what that costs, the silence dressed as grace. I watch you feel the table tilt and recognize
So you stand not to debate your humanity, not to translate your pain. You don't sit where lives are treated as a topic to explain. You don't perform your boundaries. You don't beg them to see. You leave the chair untouched and refuse their cruelty. And hear me now, because this still remains when laughter shields their cruelty. It shares in all the blame. I saw you refuse the table, then I saw you choose the line. You didn't raise your voice, you moved your feet. And that is how you don't align a seat at the table. Who sits, who stays, who looks away? So don't stop here. This isn't the only rule. Another table waits ahead, and its truth will come too soon.
That was a really difficult time for me, and I'm trying not to cry, but I'm probably gonna cry because I'm about to tell you the last table. But that was a really difficult one for me. I don't know how many of you were around when it happened. Um, Horrific things were said about me. Horrific things were said, including threats of violence. And this was from people in the community. And this person is still very much a part of the community. And I just didn't want to sit with them anymore because of who they sat with. And I still stand by that. If you sit with Nazis, you're a Nazi. And if you sit with Nazis, I'm not sitting with you. It's just that simple.
Beautifully put. That was wonderful.
So this next table, and I'm going to try not to cry while I tell you all this. Whew. It's because of how much I love all of you. There are days that I wake up and I think, how the fuck did I get here? How did I get to sit with some of the most brilliant fucking minds on the planet? The most caring people, the most diligent people who work every day to improve themselves and the world around them in any way that they can. Scholars and medical professionals and artists and poets, authors and scientists, fucking scientists and philosophers. These are my friends. And I don't know how that happened. And I wake up and I think I have a little imposter syndrome, like, why? Why? And so this is the last table, Act 3.
A seat at the table. Who sits, who stays, who looks away? I see you hesitate now, not from fear but doubt. You lower your eyes at steady rooms, afraid to pull a chair out. You sit with scholars, poets, minds who shape the world with care, and still you ask yourself at night if you were meant to be there. A seat at the table, who sits, who stays, who looks away? You think of all the rooms you left, the chairs you would not take, and wonder if refusal cost more than it could make. But listen, those tables you refused to sit at did not close the door. They cleared the way for true rooms, for something stronger, more. You don't stumble into better company. You don't inherit grace. You earn your seat by what you refuse, by where you will not place your body, voice, your quiet yes, where cruelty is bad. Empathy recognizes empathy. Depth calls out to depth. That's how these tables find their own. Not by name, but by breath. A seat at the table. Who sits? Who stays? Who looks away? You thought refusal left you smaller, like you'd lose if you walk away. But every chair you would not take is why you're standing here today. You didn't climb a broken bed, you didn't laugh and look aside. You didn't make a home in rooms where other people had to hide. So don't rise, don't move, don't make it neat. I didn't come to test your worth, I came because you learned the truth. Where you sit is who you serve. I have been called by many names before, cut in clay and stone, in love and war, in dust and stars. I've never stood alone. But names don't matter at this table. Now not crown, not claim, not fame. What matters is the cost you paid every time you wouldn't play their game. So I sit with you now, not above, not apart, not because you asked, but because you earned your place. My heart, I am Mr. Queen of heaven, yes. But tonight I do not reign, I stay, yes. Because wisdom doesn't ever hide or wait to be enabled. Wisdom knows where truth is earned its place and pulls up its place.
That is my little musical, if you will, a seat at the table.
Loved it.
Thank you.
A
Yes,
Chris,
I'll mod
a
Chris
Chris
up.
trilogy.
Yes, yes.
It's amazing how unhinged it makes people in the religious community. Some people yapping in the chat while you're sharing your most
I know. I even
deepest
had a
emotions with
hater.
us.
I had a hater come in and say they know how that I got my place in this community, and I guess that I guess I screwed a bunch of people over or something. Did I do something like that? Is that what they're saying? I actually don't know how I got my place in this community, and anybody who's ever been with me knows that one day Joyful just asked me to be his co-host. I didn't go to Joyful. He was like, "Hey, be my co-host." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." One day Benny said, "Hey, you're the admin of the Deconstruction Junction." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I just want to help people, and I like helping people, and I think people see that, and that's the kind of community we have. And people who don't see that, they don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you just volunteer your passions to, like, work your ass off to build up a community. And I don't know, it's weird that I guess, it makes sense. It's human nature. When you get into social groups, you're gonna have your wackos and your haters and your, it's just nature of the beast.
It is. It is. And you know, like you know that you're doing something right when you do have haters. Like I had somebody comment
Yep.
on my YouTube video yesterday or something, and they said, "Oh my God, you have 500 videos, and your most like viewed video only has 6,000 views." And so like, and I was just like, so your point is I haven't gone viral. Okay, cool. It's never been my intention to go viral. I know how to go viral. I know you do something really fucking stupid. You can go viral tomorrow. Just do something horrific. You will go viral. Okay. I don't want to go viral. I'm not trying to do that. I'm building something that's more important than going viral. And the fact that you went through 500 videos to figure out which one is my most viewed means that my art is getting under your skin, and that's what art should do. So I guess I'm doing my job. And that's what this is. When people go live, when they create, when they make music, when they make content. Did you come up to talk or do a message? Because if you came up to do a message, again, wrong live. I'm not here to be preached to. I'm here to have a conversation today. If you want to come up and have a conversation, you're welcome to do that. If you come up to preach, to proselytize in any way, to try to convert, you're in the wrong place. Nobody, we're not trying to deconvert you, and we don't want to be converted. And I know you guys are on 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year mission because you're like, Christians are like trying to get Pokemon. They got to catch them all, right? Before they die, get as many people to come with them as they can. But this, we're not going to.
I think they're on
It's not.
commission.
Yeah, I
When
think
I
they
was in
are
commission
too.
sales, I wasn't as rabid as they are. You know, and I was actually making money for
Right.
every sale I made. It wasn't nearly as rabid as they are. It's like they think Jesus is going to give them a few extra donkey rides at the carnival or something if
Okay.
they bring in more Christians. I don't get it.
Yeah, I just want to talk. I don't want to be preached to or proselytized to.
Hey, thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it.
So today we're talking about how do you define God? And I'll tell you why I'm asking the question ahead of time. I am an ig-theist with an I, and that means that I don't really think that people can define God, what it is, let alone who it is. So I
Okay.
don't find any reason in believing in any of them because
Mhm.
nobody even agrees what it is.
Is there a reason or a specific reason why you chose that?
Why I chose what?
How do you pronounce it again? Ig,
Oh,
ig.
I didn't choose Ignatius. When you figure out what you think, then you can go find out what that word means. And so I was like, oh, the way I think actually has a word for it, and it's Igtheist.
Yeah, what does ig mean? I guess I'm not aware of that. I know what atheism is and like agnosticism,
Let me
but
look.
I believe the etymology would be like ignorant, ignorant of the concept, or you know, um, maybe an incoherence to the concept that makes it impossible to understand.
Yeah,
okay.
let's look at that real quick. I think you're probably right here. It looks like prefix is IGN from the Latin unknown. Yeah, so it means that you're ignorant of that because, frankly, everybody's ignorant. Like
So
nobody
you're
sees
calling yourself
differences.
ignorant?
I think that
Sorry, I meant
ignorant,
etymology.
Wait,
I
that's
so
said
just
fine.
entomology. I do that all the time.
so you're calling
um,
yourself ignorant?
Yeah, ignorant isn't a bad word. It means that like you don't have knowledge of that particular thing, and I don't think anybody does. No two Christians agree what Jesus is, let alone what a God is
Would you want
or
to be
who He
known
is.
as an ignorant person by people? Would you want them to know you as ignorant or loving?
What is your argument?
She's calling herself ignorant, so I
Okay,
think it
Why are you
depends.
bothered by that? That is the
Because
root word.
that's
I
not
am
a
not calling
good
that
way to
is
view
listen,
yourself. You're not
listen,
ignorant.
his, listen. Etymology just tells you where a word came from. It doesn't
Hmm.
define who you are. It doesn't say Crystal is ignorant. That's not what it
Hmm.
says. It says the word means that people are ignorant about what God is. They cannot come to a conclusion on it, okay? And that's where the word comes from. It does not say Crystal is ignorant. What now it's starting to sound like is you're being ignorant.
No, I would say definitely a few, spiritual practices and religions say they have, their truth. So I think they've come to a conclusion
Prefix
on their own.
IGN from Latin ignotus, unknown. Doesn't say
I think it's
ignorant. Okay.
okay.
Ignorar, not to know. Root,
Yeah.
gnosis, knowledge.
Mhm.
Suffix theos, Greek, theos, what it literally means. A
Yeah, I
theist
agree with you.
position that treats God as undefined or unknowable.
Yeah.
There is nothing bad about being that way. That's a stance that is actually far more legitimate than yours.
Yeah, and I'm
May
not
I ask something real quick?
I'm not
May I ask
disagreeing.
one thing real quick? Let me ask you something. Do you
What's
know the
up?
difference between recognizing ignorance and being willfully ignorant?
Yeah, recognizing and doing is two different things.
Well, specifically willful ignorance.
Yeah, I can tell when somebody's being
where
willfully
you're
ignorant, but I still try and love them anyway.
Yeah, this is kind of ironic because what
love is
this
patient, and I
concept
love being
is, what this
patient.
concept is really trying to describe is it's recognizing that God is an ignorant concept, right? It doesn't have coherence in order for our feeble human minds to understand what God is, how it's defined. Because as Crystal's explaining, you're going to find 100,000 different definitions of what God is. So that's useless to us. But being willfully ignorant is when you're in a position of you don't recognize your own ignorance and you kind of flaunt it as a flex. And that's kind of what you're doing right now.
The whole time he talks, listen, here's what we're going to do. You're going to mute when other people talk and they're going to mute when you talk. Going, the whole time is a form of interruption, and it is a way to manipulate and control a conversation. And we're not going to do that. I'm just
trying to relate.
You just did it again. You just did it again while I was talking. Again, you'll stay muted until the person is done talking, and then you can unmute and talk, because I'm very neurodivergent and I don't do very well with people talking over each other. Now you may talk. Okay, or you could leave. I don't play games with little Christian boys. I don't do that.
God, the snarkiness, the sarcasm from these God-loving, Jesus-loving people. They all have the same sarcastic, asinine little voices. It's like they're using a voice modulator to all sound the same. I don't understand.
I just can't. I'm just not doing it anymore. This is the new Crystal. I am not going to sit up here and fight you to have a conversation. I'm not going to fight you to be respectful to other people on the panel. If you literally do not know how to adult, please do not request that. Because going, the whole time somebody's talking is a form of interruption. And it is literally a way that you are trying to control the conversation. Okay, because you do not want other people to hear what this person, and I'm not doing that. It's not going to happen today. Another guest.
Yeah, he freshly came from crashing out on another panel right before I came and joined up here.
So you guys are bearing false witness now. That's hysterical.
What?
You guys are bearing false witness now. That's hysterical.
About what?
About a person.
About Christians do.
I'm sorry, excuse me, what did I bear false witness
His was about? Loving you perfectly, and you guys
How
took
old
his
are
love
you?
for granted.
How old are you?
I'm 21. I'm old enough.
Okay, you're old enough to shut the fuck up and get the fuck off my panel, okay? Because you're going to come up here and tell me what just happened. I think that was his again, by the way. So somebody just blocked that motherfucker.
It was.
He's such a fucking idiot. No, I'm not going to keep bringing you up. Okay, it's Sunny. Sunny can come up. Sunny is invited up. Oh, I thought it was him again, Sunny.
Hey, so Radio Spencer, you have some admirers, so I just wanted to make an announcement. Anyone harassing Spencer will be immediately muted. There is no warnings, there is no chances. So I'm going to keep muting you guys. And if you come back on an alt, then you'll be blocked.
I just, what's funny is I look at the people on these chats, the people that come on in the comments, and 99% of the time when I click on them, it says, do you want to unblock them? So I've already blocked a lot of these people, but what's funny is blocking doesn't work on other people's lives. Like they'll never
No.
show up on mine, but when I go into Crystal's or anybody else's, I see these people pop up. I'm like, the block button's kind of useless because these people always turn up. But I appreciate you. Thank you.
No, yeah, it's creepy. It's like going, like they know they don't have like your consent to talk to them. Like going to another live just to harass you. That's pretty wild. That's creepy behavior. That's scary.
It is.
So
creepy.
yeah, we're not tolerating it, and that's all I wanted to say, Crystal. I got too much background noise to stay up today, so I'm
Okay.
gonna
All
hop back
right.
down.
Love
Very
you,
nice of you.
Sunny.
Thanks,
Bye.
So radio, I think Mario is another one of your friends. Do you want me to bring him up or not?
Who's that?
Mario? Is that one of your?
Yeah, I blocked him recently. You could bring him up. I don't. Yeah, I'm not afraid of anybody. They just get so annoying.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when I put out the Roach Motel. It's not that I have anything personally against roaches. I just don't want them crawling across my counter. But
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, Mario. What's your age for TikTok purposes?
26.
All right. And are you a believer of a god or gods or a higher power?
I'm a believer of God, yes.
Which god would that be?
It's only one God, ma'am.
Which
No,
one
there's
would
thousands.
that be? I'm not going to play games with you. Which god do you believe?
Only one God, ma'am.
All right, bye, Mario. When you can grow up and have a conversation, let me know. We're not playing games today, little men. I'm not doing it. Every Christian little man who comes up here and wants to be stupid and have and argue and be debateful and stuff, you are in the wrong life. Okay, just so you know, go on. I think if you go down the hall, 3 doors to your left, you'll get in a live where they want to fight you and yell and get all into it. I'm not in the mood. It's just not in the mood today. But I can change the background and we can have a different conversation and maybe they'll all wait. I don't know how to do anything anymore because they changed all the buttons. Have you guys noticed on the TikTok? Like they've changed where the gift stuff is and how you set your gift goal. And now I don't know how I change my background.
Are you running on TikTok Studio, I'm assuming?
No, I'm just on my iPad on the app. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. So stupid. Okay, I think this is it, but maybe this? Yes. Okay. Now you guys are all on. What is the cringiest thing you ever did as a Christian? That's what I want to know. All you non-believers, start coming up here and telling me your cringy stuff. I've told you guys really cringy stories. I've told you that I once thought God told me to tell the water company that he told me to go pay my water bill and I didn't listen to him. I literally did that. You guys, if you don't know that story, I'll share it right now just to get it started. But it is the funniest story. Okay. I wake up one morning and I think God has told me, go pay your water bill. And I was really tired and I needed a bath and stuff. And I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll just call him in a minute. Let me go. Let me go make some coffee and I'll take a bath. And after my bath, I'll go, I'll call them or whatever. I don't remember. I was going to call them. And so, like, I get my coffee or whatever, and I go into the bathroom and I go to turn on the water, and there's no water. They turned off the water. And I don't even know why I thought about the water bill that morning because Doug paid all the bills. And so, like, it wasn't even a thing I normally did. So I don't know why, like, the water came to mind that morning. Obviously, God. It was obviously God, right? So he said to me, I didn't tell you to call them. I told you to go pay your water bill. And I was like, oh my God. So I was a mom of 3, right? So I've got to get like all the kids in the car, just go freaking pay this water bill. So as I'm driving there, God tells me, now I want you to go in and I want you to tell these people that I told you to come in and pay the water bill and you didn't listen to me. And because you didn't, the water got turned off before you could get here. And I did that. I walked into a small town. I lived in a and did three stupid women behind the desk. They're not stupid. I was stupid. I walked in and told them, God told me to, and then I didn't listen, and then my water got turned off. And so then I go to leave and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna like just stop and get something to eat and go by the thrift store since I'm out anyway. Make this not be such a bad thing to happen. And then God told me, no, you're not. You left your water on in the bathtub. and I was like, there's no way they've already got all the way back to my house and turned the water on because we know that that's not how, red tape works, right? Like we know it's going to take them a while, right? That can't possibly be true. But I decided this time that I would listen to God. And then I went home and my bathtub was all the way up to the top. They literally must have been around the corner when I paid the bill and went right over there and turned it on. So I almost didn't make it home before the water had went all over the place. And I told people this story like it was a testimony. So, yes, people are starving across the world, and God is telling me about my freaking water bill, okay? Oh my God. So, that was one of the cringiest things I've ever done as a Christian. Don't pretend you haven't done cringy things. Somebody better share some cringe with me.
I got one where.
Go
sorry.
ahead, Radio.
Real
Go ahead.
quick. This is proof of my cringiness as a Christian parent because at the time my wife and I met, this was our second marriage for both of us, and we weren't married yet. My wife was still teetering on the brink of deciding whether she wanted to marry me or not. And I had two children with my ex-wife, who was very, very ultra Christian. She made me look like a moderate Christian. So anyway, we were at her house at the time, and my biological son was about 4 maybe, and my youngest stepson was 3. They're a year apart. And my stepson ran up to my almost wife at that point and gave her a big hug around her ankles and said, Mom, you're the greatest. And it was like a really sweet moment, right? Mm-hmm. And my 4-year-old, who I brainwashed with the Jesus juice and everything up to that point, comes up and he goes, no, she's not the greatest. And I'm sitting there going like, oh my gosh, what is he going to say next? And he goes, and he says, Jesus is the greatest. And that's when my wife, she still married me. It's 20 plus years later. She's still married to me. It's amazing. But yeah, that was the point where I pulled my 2 kids out of parochial school and Sunday school. And I said, I cannot believe the damage I've done to my kids' brain cells. This is not going to happen. And I apologized to my wife. Obviously, she was just taken aback. And, she's looking at him like he's 4 years old. So it's just like an innocent comment. But it wasn't so innocent because that was the result of a 4-year-old's brainwashed with the stupidity of religious indoctrination. So that's one of my cringy moments. Yeah, I raised that kid to that point. I raised him to be
right?
to be that cringy. And luckily now he's in his early 20s, works in New York City and is not a believer as far as I know. But it's none of my business. But he's certainly not the wacko Christian he was destined to be if I hadn't pulled him out.
Well, I'm really glad you did. My kids are all out now. So, they might believe other things and none of my business too, but it's not this anymore. So that's good because I damaged them too, I'm sure. Hey, Deconstruction Deacon, how are you today?
Good. Great to hear from you again. I've been watching, enjoying your content, sneaking in once in a while. I've got like pretty much nothing but cringe for just looking back on the whole thing. But there's one cute little event that I think about sometimes, and it keeps me up. And I lost my wallet one day, and I'm in my 20s. Like I've got 3 small kids. I've got, we were poor at the time because I was a pastor. And okay, not one of the rich pastors, but
Yeah.
one of the
There's only a few of
associate
those.
pastors. I worked for the rich pastors, but anyway, I was like really stressed about it. And then I was like praying. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I really need to find my wallet. I don't want to cancel my cards, and all this stuff. And then I find it, and it's like, oh, thank you, Jesus, And then I'm scrolling on Reddit, and someone makes a comment about miracles not being real. And I put on my, well, actually hat. And and like telling him about how like I was so stressed out, and he helped me find my wallet and all that. And they're like, dude, kids are starving. And I was
right?
like, well, yeah, he loves them too, but
he just loves me more. He's not just special.
And someone posted a meme. It was like that Shaq waking up meme. It was like the first frame was like children starving, war, famine, grape, all that stuff. And then it was like some guy's wallet, and he's like awake.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I still cringe when I think about that sometimes.
I hate all the cringe I feel in the middle of the night at the most random time where I'm like, oh my God, I did that too. That was horrible. That's embarrassing. Hey, Middle D, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you. I haven't met you before, so I'm going to ask you my first qualifying questions. How can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 31. I have been on here once, actually.
You have? Was it
Yeah.
as Metal D? Because it didn't come up as previous guest for some reason.
It was, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But,
That's weird. I'm sorry. I cannot remember sometimes, and that's on me. I'm really sorry about that.
that's okay. Yeah, I'm 31. I'm an ex-Christian.
All right. Did you have a cringe story to share with us today?
Boy, do I. I was just scrolling by, and I saw your prompt, and it's actually perfect for what I just went through this weekend. So my grandma recently passed away, and she meant the world to me. She was a great woman, but she was a super devout Christian. And she's one of the people that raised me in Christianity when I was younger. So I went to her funeral this weekend. I had to fly out for it. And when I got to the church, I don't keep track of, what pastor they have at the time or whatever, because they kind of filter in and out, but they have like a newer pastor now. And so I get to the church where they're doing the funeral, and the guy introduces himself to me and stuff. He's cordially nice, whatever. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Just talk a little bit. He's being nice and friendly. I'm like, okay, that's cool. They do the service for her, and he starts a whole sermon. And it's a whole sermon on coming to Jesus and coming back to Jesus and this and that. And he starts to feel like he's like singling me out. You know what I mean? And of course, I'm probably like the only person there that's not a Christian. But yeah, he starts getting super into this sermon, and he's like, he's like streaming to Facebook Live. So and then like every now and then he's stopping the sermon, and he's like, somebody in this room, the Lord's put it on my heart. You need to come to Jesus right now. And he keeps stopping and going, right now, and I'm not reacting to it. And you could tell he's getting like frustrated. and then he just keeps going with it, but he'll just stop every now and then and be like, someone needs to come to the Lord right now. And they said,
wow.
And he said, he got, when he started getting frustrated, he said, you'll never see this woman again if it's not through Jesus. And he said, he said she told me my grandma did suffer a bit in the end. And he said something there. He was like, she told me she was hanging on toward the end because she needed to see somebody come to the Lord that she loved, and somebody that's in this room. And then eventually I just got up and walked out. Right. Mm-hmm. And then apparently when I walked out, he was like, and they shall not listen. And then after the service, he comes up to me and he kind of grabs me by the shoulder, and he's like, hey, we've all been praying for you. And I just looked him right in the eyes, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
So yeah, that was pretty cringe to me. And it is cringe. It was crazy because I've heard Justin from Deconstruction Zone talk about preachers doing that as a tactic. Like somebody will come and tell them beforehand that, hey, you know, this person's not a Christian. We want to get them, you know. And it just, I watched it unfold in front of my eyes the exact way he like described it before. And I was like, this is wild to see this like in real time.
Wait until you stand in front of God. Which one? Which God am I going to stand in front of? You have no evidence that it's your God. What if you end up standing in front of Ishtar? What are you going to fucking do? What are you going to do? Huh?
But, you know, I thought about that. I thought, if anybody would believe in a God that would separate me from somebody I love so much and somebody that loves me so much, like that's your play right now, and this whole room's eating it up. That makes no sense to me anymore.
I know. It's weird that it used to make sense, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Because you could
it's,
see it from your old perspective, you know, and you're like, what the hell was I thinking back then, you know?
I know. I would have thought, like, I probably would have thought as a Christian, oh my God, the Lord laid it on this pastor's heart. There's somebody here right now going to come to the Lord because
Well,
of this woman, you know, and I would have given him glory.
well, that's the trick when you've never been a Christian before, right? Is when they do that and you're like, oh my God, how did he know? You know, but like obviously now I know like somebody's talked to the guy, you know? It's
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so funny to me the comments that we get in the chat. Blessed Daughter says, "I'm sorry you're so angry," and yet there has been no anger in this entire conversation. We're just talking. We're having a nice conversation, sharing some memories, and while the memories are all great, like there's been no anger about them, and it's weird to me that they can take a pleasant conversation and read anger into it because they've taught to distort every single thing that they see. It's like they're looking through some kind of wacky glasses or something that absolutely distort the vision.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what gets me too is you'll notice, like, I'm a pagan. I go into these lives all the time. I talk to a lot of people, but you don't see me going into lives and cramming my belief structure into other people's faces. Like, it just blows me away at how many Christians will come into a live and just be like, my God is supreme. I have this right because I'm Christian. So it's
Yeah,
just like, to me, I'm just like, wow, it shows me how confused people really are and how they don't know how to keep their demeanor about them and what their actual book says about it too.
So I'm
okay, and that she says, I came on and heard her saying something about Ishtar and she was angry. I wasn't angry when I said something about Ishtar. I was making a point to a person who said that I was going to go to hell because they believe in the Abrahamic God and I don't. And I said, how do you know you're not going to go to hell and maybe Ishtar, is going to send you there? Maybe you're going to stand before Ishtar. And yet she still read that as angry because it wasn't agreeing. I didn't agree with the Christian man. And if I don't agree with them, then it's anger. You can
well,
never disagree and not be angry.
that's the
And
real
that's
trick
projection.
is it's the control. The control is what they're after, you know. It's
Mm.
but Dagda said, you know, it's funny because I'm actually a pagan as well. And my wife had got me this hoodie for Christmas, and it's a beautiful pagan hoodie with it's got Odin fighting Fenrir on the back of it for Ragnarok. And so when I was packing my stuff for the plane to go back home, I was like, I think I'm gonna wear this hoodie this time.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually have a lot of pagan friends. Pagans are cool, man. I said the F word, so that meant anger. Did you guys realize that you can't say the word fuck and not be angry?
Mm.
You can't say, where the fuck did you get that from? Where the fuck did you get the hoodie from? Because that means I'm
Wait,
angry
deep,
if I say.
deep philosophical question. What
Mhm.
the fuck?
What the fuck? Wow.
Well, you said something earlier about them seeing through glasses, and I have a thing that I like to say is Christian goggles, like they used to say the drunk goggles.
Yeah, yeah. Joel Reads Bible, good friend of the show, Joel Reads Bible, who likes to scroll by here and never drop in anymore. Joel Reads Bible likes to say Jesus blood colored glasses. You know?
Oh yeah. The blood is over the glasses, then that's why you can't see.
Yeah. The fuck? And Sister Lee! Hey everybody, welcome in. I'm gonna go ahead and change the background now and see if we can get some people to come up and join us and discuss.
Well, hey, I'm gonna hop out, but thanks for having me up. Let me share my story. I just wanted to share that with you since I was scrolling by and saw the prompt.
Well, thank you for coming up. Mhm. We'll go back to this. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it, Metal. Good to see you. If you are a believer of a god or gods or a higher power and you'd like to come up and have a conversation, this isn't a debate. We're not trying to be yelling and fighting or anything like that. We just want to talk. The guest box is open for you, but I will just let you know ahead of time. My tolerance level is very low right now for people who want to be pedantic. Okay, so it's where you're at. You might not want to request up. Just a fair warning. Oh no, I drank the last of my coffee. You guys, look at this mug that I got my son-in-law, but I usually use it. Isn't this a badass mug?
Yes.
I love
That's a
that.
chalice.
Right? I got it because he's a dungeon master for D&D, and I thought this would be cool. But I use it all the time because I like it. Yeah, it is handmade, Nick. Isn't it
Yeah.
cool?
That's really badass. I love that. Kudos to the artist. I always wanted to get into pottery, but holy shit, it's expensive.
I know.
Just having to buy the kiln and then having a space in where you can actually have a kiln is like, but
I
I
think
like it.
that if I'm not mistaken, because you know Joel is a potter also. Joel is a potter. He just does all kinds of shit. Okay? Actually, Joel taught us one time how to make clay out of your dirt from your backyard or whatever. He's you know, pretty talented that way. But anyway, he said that he got like a kiln for free or something. Like, how can you turn that down, right? Then you'd have to get
Literally.
into it. If you got a free kiln, then you're like, okay, now I have to go buy $500 worth of other shit so I could use the kiln, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep.
That would be it.
How do you define God? I don't think God can be defined because nobody has seen it, felt it, been able to reach it. If there is some kind of a creator at the origin story, it's I think it's long gone. I mean, as I usually put it, I think what happened is it shat us out, forgot to flush, and moved on.
Okay, that is one way to look at it.
Yeah, that's kind of the deist perspective. And as far as earthly gods, well, the definition is dependent on culture. So depending on the culture is where you get the definition of what a god would be. So that would definitely vary.
Well, Nick, did you hear? Crystal's ignorant. That's why she can't define God.
Yeah.
Ignorant?
Yeah. Did you know
Oh,
that?
no, I didn't hear that.
Oh, because igtheism comes from the root word, unknown, as in ignorant does. And so I'm calling myself
Oh.
ignorant. I said, I'm okay with being ignorant about certain topics. I'm okay with that. Like, I don't know why you would be upset. I'll tell you guys a funny story about the word ignorant. My son was always, I'm not bragging, I'm just fucking being honest, okay? And if you ever meet him, you'll go, okay, she's fucking right, okay? Literally the smartest kid I ever met. Like when I first started realizing how smart he was, people just thought I was like a mom bragging. By the way, I'll fast forward the story right now. He went to MIT, 3 degrees there. Okay, so this is not just a mom bragging. So he was very smart, always got A's, was a very good kid, and you know, like you know how some kids are rule followers, meaning that even if you as a parent tried to say, okay, well, you don't have to do this, I'll talk to the teacher, they'll be like, no, because they're like so scared to break rules, right?
My
That's
son.
thank you. Those are my kids, okay? They were all rule followers and they still are to this day. It's very hard for them. Well, not as much. You know what I mean? Like they're still really good people. You know what I mean? So he comes out, he's in 6th grade, which I think you're around 11 years old at 6th grade. I think that's around how old you are, if I'm not mistaken. And he's crying. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? And he's crying. Oh, do you need water? You need it? Hang on one sec. I gotta let my. Do you need water? You need it? Hang on one sec. I gotta let my dog out.
Does anyone else here have the type of kid who will also tell on themselves?
Yeah, that's the kids I have.
Yeah,
They will
that's
tell
the
on
kid I
themselves.
have.
So he's I was on one of the computers in the library, and we were supposed to look for a word, and I couldn't find it, so I pulled up the HTML source, you know, so he could see the HTML, so I could find it. And they thought I hacked into the computer, and now I'm not allowed on any of the computers ever again in the whole time that I'm ever at school, ever.
No, what?
And um all my work is on the computer, so I'm going to like fail, like you know, like 6th grade or whatever. And I'm like, oh sweetie, I just don't think she understood what you were doing. I'll go in, I'll talk to the principal, I'll clear this up like right now, right? I'll just do this right now. I went in, and that principal was such a fucking cunt. Okay. He was just like, your son knew what he was doing. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. Like, do you know what he was doing? Because I don't think you do. That's the problem. I don't think you know what he did. And do you guys know what he was doing, right? You understand what reading the HTML source is, right? Like it's a little button on your
Yes.
browser. All of us can do this, okay? This is not hacking in any sense of the word. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is just like crazy. And he goes, well, we'll have to talk about this Monday. I'm on my way out or whatever. I'm like, so my son has to sit through a whole weekend thinking he's failing out of school. That what are you talking about? So I talked to my brother. He was the head of computers and shit for the state of Vermont. Like he was one of their head guys, right? And I said, will you write a letter explaining what he did so I could take it into the school on Monday morning and clear this up? And he was like, absolutely. And then I also contacted the head of the computer programming department at Wichita State University. And he said, yes, he would write a letter too, because this is ridiculous that a child should be getting in trouble like this. So I just want to remind everybody that this is my kid at this point is the smartest fucking kid in that school and has been the smartest kid. Everybody knew this in the district. It was a small district in a small area in Kansas. And everybody knew my kid and everybody knew how smart he was and what a well-behaved child he was. He has never been in any trouble. So I go in on Monday morning and and they have their lawyer there. They had their lawyer there. Okay. And they start to talk to me and they're trying to schmooze me because I think they've suddenly realized with those 2 letters that they may have like fucked up in a really significant way. Hang on, I need to check my doggy. I need to make sure he didn't fall in the pool or anything.
Nick, do an ad.
check my dog.
I'm gonna see if I can do this without a coughing fit because I'm having a bad allergy attack today. So, all right, we have 24 beautiful souls up in this house. Let's get to double tapping that screen, sharing it out to at least 5 friends or more into your discords. 5 friends or more. If you have no discords and no friends, I'm very, very sorry. Add me up. I'll friend you. But if you click that copy link button at least 5 times, that does help boost the shares as well as the algorithm. Host does have a gift goal currently of what is this 2026 hat celebration thingamabobbers. Gift goal of 30. So if you have some extra coin, send them to your Witcher. As well as we now have this nifty repost button down where the share menu is. If you hit that share button, what's going to happen, or repost button, what's going to happen is while you're in here watching, it's going to show up on your friends as FYPs and hopefully bring more people in. So let's get to double tapping. Let's get to reposting. Let's get to sharing. It'd be really cool if we could get those shares up to 200, and it'd be nice if we can get those double tappies up over 50K. Let's go.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I have a separate backyard area that he was in that he shouldn't have been in. All right. So, woo.
And just to answer your backdrop for myself, Crystal, like, how would I define God or gods? I would say ancestors.
Okay. I don't know if I like any of my ancestors, so
My
I don't.
gods are a lot different than most religions. Even there's just like ancestors that had no way of navigating the world, so they wrote these fantastical stories.
That makes a lot more sense to me than like the Abrahamic belief, you know. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I went kind of running after my doggy. But okay, so I go in on the Monday morning, the lawyer's there, and I said, look, it's not my fault that you hired some media specialist who is ignorant to how computers work. And they fucking went off on me. They were like, you can't be calling somebody ignorant. And I'm like, wait, I didn't call her ignorant. I said she's ignorant as to how computers work. And he goes, that is just so insulting. I can't believe you're calling her ignorant. And I turned around because I'm in the principal's office and there's like a fucking dictionary right there. And I'm like, do you really need me to read this out of the dictionary for you? Are you okay? Like, this is who my child's education is in the hands of? You don't understand that there's nothing wrong with me saying she's ignorant of computers? Because she is. Because she thought somebody was hacking when they were looking at HTML code, you idiot. That's ignorant.
That's so phenomenal that a kid in grade 6 was more intelligent than them and they got pissed off over it.
Yeah, oh my God. Needless to say.
I mean, it's nicer than, okay, boomer.
Yeah, true.
Well, the thing is like, yeah, ignorant, you know, if you're an insecure person, then that's going to mean something
Excuse me,
bad.
people are talking. Why do people do that? You can just leave again. I'm so tired of people. You can come back up when you learn how to act on a stage, Sage. And I'll teach you right now, okay? If you are in the audience, you should be 18 or over. You should believe in a god or gods or a higher power. And mute yourself when you join the live because people are talking, and saying hello in the middle of a conversation is called interrupt.
But,
yeah, it was rude.
Yeah. But I hold on a second. Yeah, no, I think if you're insecure, then the word ignorant is going to offend you a lot more, because like I will openly admit that there's things that I'm ignorant about, you know, things that I'm ignorant to, but I'm secure in myself enough that doesn't bother me, because I'm ignorant to this stuff because I'm too lazy to look into it, you know, like I'm just going to be real with you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, oops, I'm knocking everything over. I just keep having to chase my little doggy down. I don't know why he's got some anxiety today or something.
I think they equate the word ignorant to stupid, and that is such a stupid thing to think because there's a lot of things I'm ignorant of. I'm ignorant on how to fix a fridge. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm
Exactly.
dumb, but that's what they equate it to. It's like, no, it just means you're not educated in a specific field. Like, why are you, like you said, should we pull out the dictionary?
Right? Hang on, let me address Sage real quick in the comments. Sage, there is a thing called TikTok etiquette, and if you don't know it, you should learn it, okay? When you join a panel, we will say hello to you when we're done with the fucking sentences we're already fucking saying. I brought you up, you mute up. When we are done, we will stop and say hello to you, ask your age, check to see if you are here to talk about the topic, and then we'll move on. You coming up and saying hello in the middle of somebody's sentence is like fifth grade level rude. And I'm sorry, you're probably used to the world like being centered around you, but it's not here, okay?
By the way, everybody, if you see Pope in comments, that's my brother. Feel free to bully him.
Okay. I thought that was your brother. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, I know you guys are picking on each other.
I literally blocked his first account, so he went and made a second account just to troll me.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So I'm just gonna say, Sage is a friendly. I don't really understand why he's like kind of making a deal out of this because yes, there was a sentence being spoken. So it's like, he does know. I think he knows. I don't know. He knows better. Like he's usually really chill on panels. So I'm not really sure what that was all about. And
I don't know either. Maybe he didn't like it that I
I just
reprimanded him my way,
wanted to
but
say that just so it could be said.
I appreciate it.
Because
I did not
I'm
know
sure
if he's a friendly because I've never met them before. But if you come up on
he
a
is, and
panel and
he's a
people
cool.
are talking, shut up for a minute. Just a minute.
Yeah, seems like
Friendly.
common.
I'm a good friend of Crystal's, but when I came up, I muted right away because it's not just proper TikTok etiquette. It's just being respectful. I don't know why basic respect with the 20-something-year-old crowd is completely lost. It's just weird.
Well, Sage, you're usually chill on panels. That's why I just don't understand why this is even a big deal. Why you're making a bigger deal out of this.
Hi, Nightmare. Welcome to the show. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I am 24.
All right. And are you a believer of a god or gods or a higher power?
I'm eclectic pagan, so yes.
Oh, what is that?
So we do not so eclectic pagans work with multiple deities over multiple pantheons.
Okay. And how do you define a god?
So the very first god that I worked with is Hades. So with him, it was more, I felt safe, I felt secure with him. He helped me work through a lot of trauma that I went through. It was more someone who was guiding me without actually being physically there, but guiding me emotionally.
Can you hang on one more moment? Listen, Sage, now you've been muted. It's really simple. You've been on other panels, so I know that you're actually aware of the rules. These aren't new rules. This isn't my space that has these rules. It's called common courtesy. Nightmare came up, Nightmare did it. Nick came up, Nick did it. Dagda came up, Dagda did it. Everlasting came up, and it's just a common courtesy to not speak in the middle of other people's sentences. And when you requested up and I accepted it, you could hear that there was already a conversation in progress. And so it is just common courtesy to not interrupt until there is a break in the conversation. And literally at that moment, Tahir was still speaking, words still coming out her mouth. And the fact that I have to spend any time on this with a friendly is strange to me. It is very weird.
Oh, is Shattered Tahir?
Yeah, that's Tahir.
Oh, shit. Oops. Look at this nice new person.
That's Tahir. Shatter Foundation's podcast is the podcast that she was doing with Garnet, and then they take a hiatus for a while, and some things are up in the air, but it's still a great podcast, and it's on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube channel if anybody wants to listen to it.
Nice.
I'm sorry. Now we can get back, Nightmare. So, but how do you define a god in general? What makes something
A god?
a god?
So a god, for me personally, and this is from personal experience because I have family who are Jewish, Christian, and also Buddhist. The one who was Buddhist did pass away last year. Not last year, the year before, sorry. I would say that if you are spiritual like myself, it's fine. He was old. He was my grandfather. I'm adopted as well. So I went through a hell of a lot of trauma. Like I said, the very first god, well, two gods actually, because if you work with Hades, you work with Persephone. So you learn a lot about nature, animals. You become in tune with yourself, within your body, within your mind. Especially as an eclectic pagan, you don't just work with one pantheon. You work with all of them. I think it's more when you are scared or you are struggling or your brain is like struggling in a sense of it is not doing so well that you can have someone be there, but not physically there, that you can say, hey, what do I need to do? And you can say, what do I need to do? Everything's like, I'm struggling right now. I feel like I'm drowning mentally and emotionally. What do I need to do? How do I go about it? Now, within paganism, there are signs.
What do they do for you though? Like, I mean, here's the thing. I used to do that with God. I used to do that with Yahweh. And in the reality, I woke up one day and I was like, he's not doing shit. I do everything. I fucking do every fucking thing. I see no utility in talking to this imaginary being because he doesn't do anything.
For me, it gives me so I'm also epileptic, so I'm going to be very morbid here when I say this. I have already planned my death. I have already planned for when I die.
That's not morbid. I think that's normal.
I have to plan for it. I've planned for it since I was 4 years old. I've had to plan for it because of my heart stopping and starting. I've had to plan for it. Having that security of knowing, hey, there's going to be someone there gives me that sense of relief because I'm going to be honest, I've been alone for more than most of my life. I have siblings, but I have never had someone who is just there who has seen me break down, or if they're not physically there, just be there and just be like, you're okay in their own way. Yes, I have a skill with animals. I know how to bake really well. Self-taught baker. I pick up languages really, really well. I also pick up, books and writing styles and stuff like that. I pick all of that up really quickly, and I have done for a very long time. And I went to a pagan temple when I was a child, And that's when they said, no, you have multiple gifts. You were given multiple gifts for a reason. They gifted you because not only are you a specialist kind of Badagda, not only are you a specialist kind of person, but they want to protect you and protect your heart and your soul. Now, I don't believe in a Christian God. That whole thing for me is bullshit because I live in England, okay? I'm British. That whole thing is complete bullshit, in my opinion. I have been to a Christian church. I will say this, hated it, hated every minute of it. So,
I think that I'm still not understanding what a God is, other than to me, it's just somebody you talk to in your head. But I kind of already talk to myself, and I have that narrator voice in my head all the time. But I still don't understand what a God is, in your opinion. I think
then,
that you're that what I've heard so far is that there are gods and that you talk
yeah.
to them. That's good, but that doesn't tell me what defines them.
A god can be anyone that is a higher power than you. They, they give you that security when you pass on. You can go to paradise, you can go to purgatory, that sort of thing.
We don't even have any proof that any of that exists.
No.
Can I give an example that might make it easier, Crystal?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So when I look at my pantheon and I want to describe my gods, right? So we'll go with Odin. The way I would describe Odin is a man who is ageless, who has an ego that helped terraform the earth, stuff like that. She's trying to find, like, what is it that we define the gods as, like, specifically their attributes. Where
Like
are they?
you
What
told
are
me,
they
Nick,
doing?
that yours were human and that they had like a fruit that they could eat that made them like young and strong, but not immortal. That they were still
Correct.
mortal.
Yep.
And so now I understand that is what your definition, and if there is something like that that is alive today, then you would also consider them a god,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
that defines what a god is to you. Right now, I don't understand what it, and of course, I don't believe any of it. Like Nick told me all that. That's great. Good for Nick. Nick is still one of my best friends. He will be forever, probably. But at least I understand what Nick thinks. I, on the other hand, to me, a God is something that is, I guess, not anymore. I don't believe in all the omni properties, because I feel now that I understand that better, that I don't think you can be all omni properties. It ends up making it illogical. If you have all the omni properties, one of them is going to fail. But I do believe that, like, if there was a God, I would believe either they have to be a creator, or they have to be like very powerful. But I don't believe that either of those things exist.
So I have a question for the host.
Mhm.
You're basically talking about atheism, and I was
um,
atheist
I'm
as
talking
well.
about atheism when I
Not
say
believing in a god that
oh yeah,
they
not
believe in the
believing in a God is
sciences.
an atheist. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, that is atheism. Yes.
Yeah. So for me, because I'm eclectic pagan, I don't follow just one pantheon. Like, Hades, a lot of people, associate him with, the god of the dead. He's just there, like, he works with the souls, he gets them to where they need to be. That's the thing. But it's when I met him, he acted like a father figure. Yes, he was tall. Yes, he was a shadowy figure. But at the same time, he was the first person who I saw as an adult in my life. At that point, I was a child who considered me one of his own. And then I started working with Persephone, and I started working with Aphrodite, and slowly
And
it
you
became
keep just
quite a
telling
few.
me your experiences, but I think you're missing the point. So we're going to go ahead and move on. But thank you for being here, Nightmare. I really appreciate you. It's been very enlightening. I didn't know about that, but I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that we're getting anywhere. But thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't think that Nightmare understands I'm trying to define it, and I'm just getting more personal stories and that. Hey Jada, how are you? Bye Everlasting. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Bye.
I'm
Hi,
looking
Prince. Thanks.
more. Thanks. I appreciate it. About the definition, about the actual definition. Like, it's interesting that everybody has these different beliefs, but I want to know. My daughter went to text me, "Are you still alive?" And she said, "Are you alive?" And then she realized what she said.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
um, uh, so yeah, so I'm looking more for an actual definition of what a God is, what your God is, the attributes of the God, not just your interactions, if that makes sense. Because telling me that you met Hades doesn't tell me what defines Hades to be a god. Hades, how do you know Hades wasn't or a figment of your imagination or anything else? What defines Hades to be a god other
I think
than people said?
I think it's hard to define something that you don't actually know when you're going off of what you hope them to be and what you feel them to be rather than what they are. And I think that's where a lot of believers get caught up in not being able to define. It's because you might actually not know. And believers, believe me when I said it is okay not to know. But that's just my thought of why it's so hard for believers to define their gods.
Yeah, I can see that. And I think that, like, I really do find it interesting and stuff when that there are so many different kinds of pagans and that there's so many different gods to worship and so forth. It's not going to really change my mind any, as you know. I don't believe any of it. I think that they're all mythology because yet we just don't have evidence for any of them, right? And I think that they were the way we answered questions when we didn't have the answers. And
Have you ever been to Thrill's Lives at night?
oh yeah, every night I'm in there. Are you fucking
Oh,
kidding me? I'm
awesome.
in there every
Yeah.
night.
He's got that voice that's like, yep, okay, I'm ready for bed. You ever notice, like, and I think this is the prime example of not being able to define how many people go up there and say God is energy, and then he says define energy, and that's where they get stuck. They can't.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like an example of what I'm trying to say there is when they are trying to define something that they can't define. Because they always get stuck at the energy bit. Well, what is energy? And it's like, yeah, well, you know?
Yeah. It's so hard to have discussions about God because people are sensitive and God is truth. Um, that's another thing. Like you're just saying that. Like this, just because God told you He's truth, He's truth. Is that why you think that? How do you know God is truth? See, because to me, God is one thing and truth is a different thing. Truth doesn't have to have anything to do with God.
I hate that word truth because, it's like I said earlier, the gods are dependent on culture. Their definition is dependent on culture. There are gods that are far more ancient than the biblical God. And again, it goes back to culture and what they needed during specific times. So it drives me nuts when they go, well, God is truth, Jesus is truth. Well, no, you don't know that. Like, it might be true for you. Doesn't mean it was true for everybody else.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, Benny boy. Welcome in. You guys, the guest box is open. Truth, if you want to come up and talk about, how you define God and your faith and that, the guest box is open. Um, Yada yada, the guest box is open.
Crystal.
Good morning, Truth Dog. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I slept in. I've been working a night shift, so I just got up a little bit ago, had a couple cups of coffee, and I'm starting to percolate now.
That's good. So today we're talking about how do you define God, but if you want to talk about faith, we can talk about that too, because I don't understand why faith is good.
Well, if God gave evidence that he existed, like right now, everybody in the world said, wow, look at that. He's real. They would change their tune. A lot of people would be like fake for what God wants from people. He wants you to be yourself.
God knows how to make sure that I believe for real, though. If He's all knowing, he knows that I wouldn't say fake to something, and there is something He could do that would make me know for sure it was Him, and He's chosen not to do that if He's real, and that's the circular thing there, where people go. I actually have people do this all the time. They say, "Well, I'm not going to come up and talk to you because it's not worth it. You've already got your mind made up." But that's silly. That's silly because, first of all, if you believe that you are here on a mission from God, then it's not you speaking to me, it's God through you. And so you're literally saying your God's not powerful enough to get through to me. And second, to say that God could show up and I still wouldn't believe is you saying, I've got to find a reason why God's not showing up. No, maybe it's just because he's not real.
Yeah, well, people change their mind all the time. Different things happen, and you say, "Okay, well, I was wrong." You're not afraid to say that, I'm sure.
I was a Christian for 40 plus years, and I changed my mind because I was given new information. And so, with new information, we often change our minds.
Right. I was never a Christian. I was always not a really great person all my life. And when I was 52 years old, I started to think about my grandfather that passed away when I was a 4-month old baby back in 1958. And, 8 years ago, I found a photograph of him randomly on eBay in a seller's other item list in Kentucky. Anyway, Grandpap was a police officer in Western Pennsylvania. I live around Pittsburgh. And he was in Monessen, Pennsylvania. He was a police officer in the 1930s up until 1940. But 8 years ago, I was in a water truck at a gas well in West Virginia, and I'm sitting there bored. I says, I'm going to look at old cars on eBay just to pass the time. So I put Ford Fairlane on there. I like them. And the first on the list was a 1958 in Kentucky. And I was reading about it. Then I hit the seller's other item list, and they had a listing that said 4 old police pictures for $10. And I thought, I like him because of Grandpap, him old police things and stuff. It takes me back to a different. So I clicked it on, and one of the photographs was my grandfather in 1934, sitting on a Harley Davidson in his police uniform at the dealership. And, it's almost a 100-year-old photograph I randomly found that quick, 500 miles away in Greenup, Kentucky. And I actually called the guy up. His name's Steve. I said, how did you get that picture of my grandfather? He said he bought that on eBay 10 years earlier. He's a retired cop down there, and he's 74. He's just selling things off. But I started to pray about my grandfather when I was 52, and I never thought about him my whole life. And when I was 52, I was having a lot of issues with my life, and I'd go to the cemetery to visit Mom and Dad's grave and just sit there and look at the sky or whatever. And I seen Grandpap's headstone, and it hit me. I said, I never thought about him. I was a 4-month-old baby when he passed away. He had cancer in his pancreas. And so I started to think about him hold me. He was 63 years old, and he was born in 1895. And my mother was older when she had me. I really shouldn't have. My brother said they didn't really want me. I shouldn't have been here. But anyway, I kept thinking about him holding me, and I didn't have any grandparents because my mother and dad were older. But I grew up on the streets and the things that happened to me, and my mom didn't really care much for me. But bad things happened to me, and my life was just crappy. All of a sudden, it hit me at 52. I felt so bad, and I started to pray to God. I never went to church or nothing, but I kind of thought He was real. But I actually didn't think He could actually see what everybody in the world was doing at the same time. And I thought I could get away with stuff, and if I had to, He wouldn't know things I did. But I cried out to God. I said I needed my grandfather. He was, my older brother, talked good about him, and I asked my older brother. I says, Tim, I think about Grandpa night and day. It's like constant. It's like crazy. What do you remember about him? Can you tell me stories? And he's 10 years older. And he'd tell me things. And about a year later, he found that same photograph of him with the Historical Society about 15 miles away. He went in there, and my brother was like a junk collector. He went to the junk store about 15 miles away, thrift store, whatever, and it was closed. So he walked across the street into the Historical Society, and he seen Grandpap's name with a piece of tape on the photograph. And then he said, "Oh, that's Grandpap." And I'd been bugging him about him. So he brought that photo home in Xerox. He showed me. He said, "You know who that guy is on that motorcycle?" I said, "No." He said, "That's your grandfather." I said, "What?" I looked at him. I said, "Wow, what a cool picture." And I took that Xerox and blew it up on photo paper and went to a store, got a frame. And there was a Goodwill store next door. I stopped in there on the way home. Nothing was in that little store. I went home framed. I said, "Man, God, thank you. I was just so happy." And the next day I went back in that Goodwill store. I had the day off the next day, and there was a model sitting on a shelf, about a 12-inch long plastic model of a 1934 Harley Davidson with a sidecar. Same thing he had in that photograph. And it was a real detailed model, too. It had like bicycle seats on it and the floorboards and big handlebars and stuff. I said, that wasn't in there yesterday. So I said, God, you kind of heard me. And I always wanted a better picture because that Xerox was kind of goofy and for, make hobby with. But I randomly found that photograph 8 years ago on eBay. And I took that picture to Staples about half a dozen miles away. I asked that lady, "Can you blow that up, make me a couple copies?" She said, "Yeah." She looked at it. She said, "That's weird." I said, "What is it?" She said she went to visit her sister out in Ohio last Christmas, and her sister's boyfriend had that same picture hanging on the wall in their bathroom. It's a cool picture, but I prayed in my heart, and I changed everything too. I changed my whole life over that.
I'm glad you changed your life, but it just seems to me like, and I don't want to take anything away from anybody, and I'm glad that you feel some kind of connection to your grandfather, but none of this proves a God. This is coincidence after coincidence that aren't even that extraordinary. The other thing is, why would a God give so much shit about this while literal women are being great, while children are being attacked by their own pastors? And why, and how do you know it's this God? How do you know this God did all this for you? Maybe it's another God. Maybe Ishtar helped you.
Yeah, well, I grew up like in a Christian community, and that's where my heart's at. That's where my faith is at. So I'm going to stick with it. And I know He's wrong. I mean, I've had
So then,
not only with
so
my
then you did believe. So you weren't a non-believer. You just weren't doing the things you feel would have made you more connected to the God. But you were a believer all along. And that's
right,
why you
everybody
turned
at
to
one
this
point may
God.
have been.
Thank you. Nick, did you have a question for Truth?
Yeah, so this is coming from a theological perspective. It's always curious to me, the psychology of society with Christianity, how it couldn't possibly be anything other than God. Did you ever stop to wonder if it was your grandfather himself who did that? And you're just thanking God instead, that it was ancestors who did it?
Yeah, I thought maybe, but really, my grandfather, none of us could do anything
I'm
without
sorry,
higher
Nick, can
power.
you mute when he talks? Because something happens weird. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Truth.
it's
Now I
because
can
I'm
hear you.
not wearing my earphones.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Truth. I couldn't hear
none of
you.
us, none of us could do anything without a higher power. And my
Yes.
faith
Yes,
leans toward
I
God.
do. I do shit every day. I have no higher.
And I've had a lot of different things happen too. I mean, with all my families that passed away, family members, because I'm pretty much alone, and that's what I lean back to is the better good old days with my family, and I miss them. And I regret a lot of the things I did with them. I regret the way I treated some of them, and my heart changed. And I says, I feel so bad about some of the things, and I pray out to God. And then next thing you know, something happens really strange. My little sister Tracy was a bartender, and she was an alcoholic. She passed away at the age of 47. That was probably about 14 years ago or so. But I go to different churches. I give out testimony, and I can't help it. But I come home from a Mennonite church one night about 11 o'clock at night. I was on my motorcycle, and I give out testimony there. But I thought about Tracy when I was getting into bed. And I said, I never prayed for her. She's been passed away about 10 years now. So I got out of bed, I got on my knees. I said, God, please forgive me the way I treated Tracy, my sister. I says, I could be kind of rough on her. She drank a lot, hung out with people, party and bum money and go party. I says, I could be a little rough on her. I said, I'm really sorry. I said, God, she was a really good girl. I says, please take care of her. And I was getting in bed. And I says, God, it's been 10 years now. I need to know she's okay. And so I went to bed that night. And the next day I ran into my friend at the Dollar General store parking lot. He's 68 years old. We never talk about her. And I hadn't seen him for a couple months. I said, he pulled in there. I said, hey, Charlie, how you been? I haven't seen you for a good while. He says, good, good. He said, man, I got to tell you something. This is really strange. He said he woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing he thought about was my little sister, Tracy. He said it was like a real strong thought as soon as he popped his eyes open at 5 a.m., and he heard a voice that said, remember when she saved that girl at Ohio Powell? That's a state park in the mountains up by Maryland, about an hour drive from here. And he said that was 40 years ago. Tracy was like 16 years old, and there was a girl drowning in the Whitewater River at the park. And Tracy dove in after her and pulled that girl out, saved her. I said, wow, that's crazy. I got to tell you something. I prayed for her last night. I've never done that. I said, you woke up at 5 a.m. and heard a voice and thought about that. And I said, you think that was God's voice? He said, I really do. I said, what did he say exactly? He said, remember
Truth,
when
I'm
she
going to
saved that
stop
girl?
you because all these anecdotes, they don't do anything.
Well, I actually met the
Muslims,
girl.
Truth, let me finish. Muslims have these same anecdotes. Hindus have these same anecdotes. And I live my life every day without a higher power, and I'm doing just fine. None of this does anything. It doesn't get me closer to defining what a God is, let alone who God is. These sound like a bunch of coincidences. And on top of it, all it does is make me mad at God hearing these stories because I am hearing you go, hey, I needed a little comfort and God gave me that. Meanwhile, children starved to death today and he did nothing. He did nothing. But for you, you needed a little comfort. He took care of you. And that makes me angry. And I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel that way, but that's literally how I feel when I hear these things. Well, I needed to find my keys. I needed comfort. Me. Meanwhile, you haven't told me anything you've done to help other people. You haven't told me one prayer you said to help a starving child or help somebody who's in an abusive situation. You've talked about you a lot. You've talked about how you are better now. I want a God who's going to make the world a better place. I want a God who's going to stop all the horrific shit that's going on. I want a God who actually cares about the humanity, not a God who goes, well, if you kiss my ass, then I'll help you find your car keys sometimes, but not every time, but sometimes.
Again, if your focus was on your sister from a theological perspective, how do you know it wasn't your sister herself reaching out? Why does everything have to go back to a God? Why can it not go back to ancestral paths? The way it started?
You know, I actually met the girl she saved from drowning about a month later. Randomly found I met her in
You know,
church.
I'm going to go ahead
Sure.
and drop you because that's what you started to say before we started talking, which means you didn't listen to anything we said and decided to go right back to the preaching that you wanted to do to us. And that's
Yep.
disrespectful. And I'm not doing it again, not doing these things anymore. It's a new year, it's a new me. Nah, nah. I'm not going
Avoided
to
my
yell and
question twice as if though I didn't ask them.
yeah. Have a good day for you too, Truth Dog. I'm not like I just don't want to get to a place where I'm getting upset and yelling or anything. And I start to feel myself get aggravated when I say something and it just goes I'm not going to respond to anything that you two women just said. I'm going to go right back to the preaching that I was trying to do. Good
That
to see you,
one
Katie.
woman, I can't remember what her name is at the moment. If I saw her pop in alive, I'd see her and block her again. But she was in Cash's live way back. She was friends with Cash, and he kept saying that she was a unicorn Christian. But anyway, she was talking about, how she was making it sound like her family was about to be homeless. And they were praying and praying and praying, and finally they got a house. They were able to move in. Turns out what it actually was a 5-bedroom house on many acres of land so they could have
I
their
feel like I
horses.
remember this. I feel like I remember this fucking story. Keep going.
Oh,
And it's like, what? Get the fuck out of
I
here.
lost my shit on her. I'm like, you have got to be, because she was pulling at my heartstrings. I thought they were actually going to be homeless. It wasn't the fact that they were going to be homeless. It's the fact that they were picky about where they wanted to live. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking joking right now. Like,
Yeah. Right? Give me a fucking break. That bothered me too. We can't do anything without a higher power. Okay, I hate when they first come up and be like, "Oh, well, I was atheist." Then as he tells this story, no, you weren't. No, you were never. What are you fucking talking about? Why did they do that? That doesn't help you relate to me, by the way. If that's why you think by coming up here and saying, well, like didn't believe I was an atheist, this, that, and the other, you there is nothing
Wait,
about an atheist that goes, oh, I'm gonna pray right
Amy.
now just to see, you know? We don't do that. Hey, Katie.
Hey, give me 1 second. Did I request, or did you?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I was like putting my phone in its case as I was getting out of the car, but that's fine. I'm just going into the store right now, so I'm going to mute real quick, and I'll come out and say
Okay.
hi.
All right. All right, Nick. I'm gonna let you do one more commercial for me because I'll be right back.
Alrighty, everybody. We got 23 beautiful souls up in this house. Let's get to double tap, tap, tappity tapping that screen, sharing it out to at least 5 friends or more, or to your discords. And if you have no discords and no friends, I'm sorry, feel free to add me up and you'll have at least one friend. But hit that copy link button at least 5 times because it does help boost the algorithm and it does help count towards the shares. We also have that nice nifty little repost button now. So actually, did I press the no. Okay, don't tell Crystal I hadn't reposted yet. So if you want to hit that repost button under the share menu, it means that while you are watching this live, it will show up on your friends' FYPs. So that is a nifty little tool that we got now. So make sure you hit that repost button. Host does also have a gift goal of the little party hat thingamabobbers sitting at 7 out of 30. So if you have some spare coin, throw them to your Witcher. And in the meantime, let's see. We hit that 50K mark. We're at 74.5. So let's see if we can make it all the way to 100K. And we're at 182 shares. Let's get to that 200 mark.
Okay, and my gift goal is the happy ads. If we reach it, I'll stay live an extra hour. If not, I'll be closing down in 1 hour. Gifts are appreciated, never expected. I am trying to upgrade my equipment though, and every time you gift me or tip me, and yes, you can tip me at the links in my bio, all that money is helping me so much, and your support is so appreciated. I really do. I want to tell you, you guys help support so many creators on this app, and I just appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. Every fucking rose, every like, every comment, you have no idea how much it helps. And all the people who've been on YouTube helping me get my watch hours up and subscribing. Oh my God, I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, and my watch hours are over halfway there. So I'm so excited. I will be monetized soon. Well, thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad you're in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We're talking to debate about how you define God. I am an ig-theist. I feel like we can't really define what a God is, let alone who God is, or if there is any, what they, what. And so far, I haven't changed that opinion yet this morning because I haven't really gotten a clear definition of what a God is yet. Hey, Evil, good to see you.
Hey,
Watch
Eva.
hours are how many hours people spend watching my YouTube channel. And so a lot of people this week have gone to my YouTube channel, taken their extra devices and put my playlists on. You cannot speed up the video and you can't mute the video. You can mute your device, like turn off the sound on your device. But in order for my watch hours to go up, you have to just like turn it on, let it play. And people have been doing that and they've been commenting and liking, and it's just really helped me a lot. And I really appreciate it. And I guess they've been doing this to a lot of creators because Mezzo and Joel said that they were over there and like liking all their things and stuff. So you guys are amazing.
Well, that gives me something to do later.
Well, Sunny, what it does is they still get watch hours, but they don't get as many like that half a speed or whatever that you go up that knocks down their watch. Like, let's say it only takes you an hour to watch it, and it normally at full speed would be 2 hours. They only get the 1 hour watch. Okay, and so that's why if you're actually watching, feel free to speed it up. But if you're just playing it like on an extra device, then don't speed it up because then I'll get full watch hours if you don't. You know what I mean?
By the way, I watched your videos a couple times on repeat, and the second song especially, I was cooking dinner last night and started tearing up.
You knew what that was about.
I did. Thank you. Sorry.
I love you, Nick.
I love you
second
too.
song, Nick went through that with me. Okay, the second song in A Seat at the Table was a real live event that happened on this app in this community. This person is still a member of this community, and I'm not gonna say who they are, but I quietly went to this person and said, I know who your friends are. I do not approve of your friends. And I don't think that you're a bad person. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I can't sit with you if you sit with them. And I said this all in private. And this person then went to Nick and said, please talk some sense into Crystal. I'm a very nice person. You know me. You know that I'm nice. And this person is nice. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I can't sit with you if you sit with them. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And so they started going on lives and talking about us, and then got Joyful involved, and it became about me, Joyful, and Nick, and there were people who came to us. I mean, I know they came to me. I don't know how many came to Nick or Joyful. I can't speak for them, and we're like, oh, you're being ridiculous. And, like, I think that you are like going really overboard on this. And I'm not trying to say I don't care about people's opinions, but I don't care if what you're telling me to do is to align with people who are bigots. I'm not going to.
For me, that's fake allyship. I would never have somebody sitting at my table like that, and that's why I told that person, you can't. It's like, what is it? How does Rabbi word it? I don't want to see you starve, but you can't eat at my table.
Yeah. And that's how I felt. And none of it had to be brought into the public. I never was trying to publicly shame this person. I was never trying to shame them at all. I was just letting them know that you know how there's some people who, if you disappeared, they'll never even realize you're gone, but there are other people they will notice. So I couldn't just quietly no longer talk to this person, or quietly no longer follow them, or quietly walk away. So I thought I would just send them a private message and say, it's not you, but it's the company you keep. And because I realize you're never going to get rid of that company, that's how much you love and honor that company, I cannot be friends with you.
And then all of a sudden we're getting those low-key unalignment threats.
They
And
talked about slitting our throats. They literally talked about
slitting our
throats.
Like,
that they thought that was funny. They said,
Yeah.
whose throats do I have to slit? And then they all laughed. And then we had people like, there was a creator from the trans community that felt that we were too hard on this person too, and they went off on Joyful and stuff, and that took on a whole different life of its
That
own.
was
And it was
wild for me. That was wild for me. It's like, you're aware of what Joyful's defending here, right? He's defending you.
But she wasn't saying it. So there are some people she wasn't saying it. She just sits with them. She just dines with them. It mods for them and stuff. And that was my whole point. Like, if people don't start saying no to the people who quietly uphold these beliefs, then the racism and bigotry will continue. The homophobia, the transphobia. No, I'm not gonna fucking do it. Like, that's why when I wrote the third song and I talk about the tables I sit at now, when you're a younger version of yourself, you think so many things matter that don't really fucking matter. You really do. You think, oh my God, this whole community is going to hate me. But when you get older, you go, if that whole community hates me, it wasn't my community.
That's why I went balls to the wall last night and said, I might lose some people with this letter, but I can't fucking do this no more.
And I can't.
I can't. I sent it to you, Rabbi. A whole bunch of people. I actually called Father Mark before I sent the letter out. He was really great. And, I think I hate the general consensus, because the general consensus was no shit.
Okay, wait. I want to tell you what I thought. Okay, do you want to tell people what we're talking about first? Do you want to just really quick say?
I'll say it in the way I said it at the end of the
You?
letter.
Can I introduce
Yes, get
you?
a tissue. Get a tissue.
You guys, I want to introduce to you my friend, Nick. Nick goes by he, him now. It's Nicholas.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Nice to meet you.
And yeah, so I just want to tell you what I personally thought is, oh, good. Now I could quit correcting people for the pronoun. Because so many people would use he, him with you, and I would go, she, her, she, her. Okay, that's how I don't have to do that.
Oh my God. It was so funny when I was talking to Jaron, because Jaron always struggles with that. He's always like, this is my friend Nick, she, he, they, the Canadian. And I was like, so I hope that clarifies the pronouns. And he goes, I'm still just going to call you the Canadian. And I'm like, okay. It was fucking hilarious. But But then, like, my best bud for, like, many years, Wug, when I messaged him, he's like, yeah, we kind of knew that. In fact, I was telling the wife a while ago that I was just kind of waiting for you to say it. And I was like, fuck me. Like, and then Rabbi Hana was just straight up, oh, I already knew. I'm like, thanks. Fuck.
Nick, I am
didn't know.
so proud of you. I am so fucking proud of you. That is so amazing. Like, one, I don't have to freaking hold it in anymore, so that's nice.
No. Liz, for the longest time, was the only person who knew. Because she clocked me. And I couldn't lie to her, so.
I was like, look, I don't want to be disrespectful, but, like, I just have to, I have to ask you. And at the time, we were in a relationship, so it was a safe space, and it was like, oh, I'm so fucking proud of you. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you.
And Nick, can I just say, one, I'm so happy for you. Two, I always thought your pronouns were he, him. I never thought there was anything else.
I'm gonna add that to the list. Yeah, another one who went, no shit, Sherlock, really?
Matter of fact, I thought Crystal was going to say that you're coming out as a trans woman.
No.
No.
Other way.
And you know, like that makes my song so more special at this moment in time for me personally, as you being my friend, because that's why we sit at the same table, because I did not take that seat. Yep. And I wouldn't have this table next to you if I took those seats.
No, stop it. You're making me blubber. I don't want to feel emotions. Stop it.
But honestly, Crystal, like, being a part of that, everything that happened, there's no way that you would have. That's not the person that you are, or the person that I've ever known. I can't speak for before I knew you, but it was the obvious choice for you.
I was really scared. I remember coming to you first because Liz and I mod for a lot of people, and we admin for the Deconstruction Junction. And if you just knew how much that meant, like, you have so much information that people give you that you just don't share. So Liz and I, would have a private conversation that I could share things where I knew, like, it's definitely not going anywhere because we know the things and it never leaves our space. So I came to Liz first, I think, and said, I think I need to do this. And I was scared already about the repercussions. I was very scared. But I never thought that they would get to the levels they got to. I thought I would lose some friends, but in private or behind the scenes or something, because obviously she would probably be upset and tell people, and then they wouldn't like me either. And I knew that might happen, but I had no idea what would happen. And I had no idea it would be taken to the lengths that it was taken. But I would never change it for anything, because I'm not going to sit at a fucking table with bigots or people who support bigots. If I find out you support bigots, you would not CGR Nazi. That's the way I feel.
And I will say, Crystal, when we stand firm in our beliefs, we find out those who stand with us.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that are important.
That's right.
But according to the J name, we're the bigots, Crystal, because we won't sit at their table because of them.
No, I have been called a bigot because of this, and a bully. I am also a bully because of this. And if I could tell you how no bullying went down, like this person had a channel in the Discord, and until they took some things too far, they still had a channel in the Discord. They still had everything. Nobody knew. It was a private conversation between me and this person. Nick didn't know until they told Nick. And so it was like, oh, so, okay. So then how am I the bully if I did this all in private and you brought this all out and brought everybody into, like, I had people later to me, my dearest friends, tell me, well, I felt like you were making us choose. And I said, really? Is that how you felt? Because can I help you remember how the events transpired? Because at no point did I ask anybody, I didn't even tell anybody what was happening. So any of that you felt came from her because I never went out and told anybody.
No, and do you remember I specifically said, Crystal, let me try reaching this person
Yep.
one more time, and you were like, I don't know if it's going to work, but you can try. So I did. And I wrote a very thought out letter. There was no attacks. There was no I just, I went, you got to think about the feelings of the people that are being affected by the people you're hanging around. And she took it as a straight up attack, which it was not. And at the very end of my second letter, I literally let that person go with the words light and love. And then
Yeah, you did.
they took it to TikTok, and that's when it started getting verbally violent, was because of the people that we told this person were toxic POSs, which just validated our point.
It did validate it. But I do want to tell you guys something because, and I know there's only like 20 people in here, but if you're watching on YouTube or you see this later in a playback or you want to go gossip about me, here's something that you guys should all know. Um, I know a lot of people in this space, and I know that I'm an admin for the deconstruction junction, whatever the fuck that means, other than I have to do a bunch of work for free. I know that I'm a mod for many people. I know that, okay? But just because you and I like have a falling out or whatever, it does not mean that any of these other people are ever going to know about it. I'm almost 60 years old. Just cuz I don't feel like I have to get everybody against you if you don't like me. I don't feel that need. If we don't like each other, that's okay. There's lots of people. There's billions of people on this planet. We'll find other people, right? I don't feel like I have to go tell Liz about every single person who I don't like or who does like me or whatever. It's not, I don't feel that way. So don't feel like, oh, because I literally like had people telling me that they felt that they had to choose my side on this issue. And you don't have to choose my side. You don't.
But you also don't have to be. And there's plenty of people I disagree with. Professor Tim, I disagree with a lot of his theology, but I don't go to war over it. I don't get violent with it. Like, you can have.
I fundamentally, on 100 and million billion levels, do not agree with JTP. I've said it to his face. I will say it till I die. And I still go on panels with him, and we're very respectful to each other because I don't need to do anything like that. Like, all I'm just saying is, if for any reason in the future any of us get a little like you don't like me anymore, that's okay. Don't worry. I'm not going to like somehow sick a bunch of people on you. I don't, that's weird. I don't do that. That's weird.
I agree, Crystal. That is weird. I don't do that
And the
either.
fact that people think I would do that is weird to me too, by the way. It's weird that they feel like that I would somehow pressure them into being some way. I don't know. That's not who I am. And I say this because somebody came in the chat first thing this morning and was like saying that they know how because I was saying I don't even know how I got to a position where I get to sit with poets and scholars and scientists and stuff. And they were like, well, I know how, because you like, weaseled your way in or something. I'm like, really? That's what I did? Because I would like the game plan. So maybe I could sell the game plan on how I did it. Because I just come, I don't have a million followers. You know what I mean? Like if what am I getting out of it by weaseling in here? I thought I was just having fun with friends and learning. I guess I'm getting something else out of it I didn't know.
Yeah, if you find out what you're getting, let me know. Because I thought it was just like finding community of people who are like-minded, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Who can talk about the hurt of the church and what faith does. But yeah.
And, I've become such a much better person because of this community and the people who sit at my table.
Me too.
And, that is more than a God has ever given me in my whole life.
Absolutely. We've helped so many people this past year, literally, financially, emotionally, and in any possible way you could think of. This community has fucking helped so many people. This community, I am not taking credit for this. I'm talking about the entire community. You guys have come together. You've raised thousands of dollars. You've helped people who didn't know where they were going to get their next meal. You help people. Literally, I said it before. There's a guy who said, "Hey, that season of Reason gift card I got a flat tire and had no idea how I was going to pay for it. And then I had that gift card and I was able to pay for it." And it's just stories like that. And kids who got presents this year who wouldn't have for that holiday that we still celebrate. But there were people, whose lives were changed. People who didn't unalive because somebody was there to talk to them. And now we have, I'm going to
That
fuck
one
up the
hit.
name again. What's the name of it? Freedom from Religion is a part of our Discord server. There's a direct
I saw they
channel.
joined.
So people are getting help directly from them now.
That's awesome.
I still can't get over the fact that you're feeding a family of 10 for $40. I mean,
Nick sent me a message when I first started the season of Reason, and she goes, "A family of 10 for," I'm sorry, he goes, "A family of 10 for $40. And I go, "Wait, are you saying that one, because you're from Canada and you don't believe it, or two, you think that I'm wrong, or three," and then Nick goes,
she's like,
"All
"Or
of
do
the
you need
above."
assistance? Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, all of the above. What the fuck are you talking about?
The turkey I bought was $40 alone, and it wasn't even that big of a turkey. Like, I didn't even have leftovers this year for soup. Like, so I'm like, what do you mean you fed a family of 10 for $40?
That is some
Walmart
thrifting right there.
Well, Walmart had a list, and Walmart did it. Okay, not me. They had to compete with Aldi because Aldi put out a list, and they said you could feed a family of 10 for $40, and Walmart said, "Oh, well, we're gonna make it so you can feed a family of 10 for under 40," and it was like $39.99 or some shit. But it's it probably would have been like, what I think it would feed a family of 10. I just think there would be no leftovers or anything like that. Like you would all get a little bit of something to eat. But it was real. Like the whole list was there with the price breakdown.
I only have a few minutes
That's
left.
wild.
And I wanted to ask you guys this as we were talking about that situation just now with Nick. And the J person, who I can only assume was JTP, but whatever.
No. No.
Okay, it's not.
You know
Okay.
what? I'm just gonna say it because I trash talk him almost on the daily. Jeff for truth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he wasn't my friend, okay? He wasn't my friend.
Right.
He
No.
was
It's not
never
about.
our friend.
It's not about that.
Okay.
It's about
Okay.
rainbow people that are still Christian. Because, like, as someone who has seen the damage that Christianity does to this community, to my community, to our community that way, but still want to be in it and believe in it because they found a church that says they accept them. It's a tightrope, right? Like, I don't want to hurt them because they're part of our community, like as queer people, as rainbow people. But at the same time, I want them to realize that, like, those people probably don't really like them the way they think they do.
They don't.
I worry about that because I've tried to talk to some of them about it and they get on the defensive real quick because I'm like, okay, are they accepting of you or are they wanting to just convert more people and they have found an access point?
That's my thing. It's about filling seats for them. It's about revenue.
It is.
Right? And they're like, oh, well, we'll find an apologetic within scripture that we can then change our dogma and say, like, okay, well, now, now you guys are fine, and we'll ordain ministers, and we'll let you get married, and like it's great. Until later, when they have other people that are like, not really, and then they'll just switch back, right? And then you got these people that are going to be kind of caught in the middle and hurt, and then told like, oh, your marriage is now invalid, or you have to be celibate, you have to like whatever. And that's what I see long term with it, right? Like
that's why I wrote a seat at the table, because the fuck, you're sitting at that fucking table so you can fucking benefit while they fucking hurt people who are just like you.
Ask my brother in the comments section. Like he's literally in the comments section right now. The amount of times that I've had fights with him and other family members because it's the same thing, right? I mean, like, I don't know if this person was afraid because they have one of those people is a relative, but at the end of the day, you are you. You have to stand up for what you believe in, despite if they're family or not. And I think that pisses off my brother and my mom and probably every other free person in Alberta right now. But it doesn't matter if you're related. It doesn't matter if you've been friends for 20 years. You stick to your guns. Don't let them come up on your panel in your live and preach that bigoted, racist bullshit and be like, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. No, you're giving them the platform to do it. So you are.
Yeah. Or if you're not, I mean, if you gave them the platform to be up there, but then you did that to show how bad it is and then destroy them and how bad it is, that's different, right? Like,
yeah,
you're like, what?
I do think that's different. And I think that because sometimes when I'm up here and I'm literally talking to some bigoted Christian or something, I have people going the fuck off in my chat. And I had, last week I was wrong. I will admit it. I was wrong. I should have kicked that guy off sooner. But it's not just for the person who's talking. We're literally trying to show other people, do you not see what your fucking religion is doing? This person represents your religion. And if they never hear the insane things, they're not going to believe me when I tell them. They don't. I can tell Christians till I'm blue in the face. They want to unalive the LGBTQIA, and they'll say, no, they don't. That's not what they believe. You're just being hyperbolic, And so, but if I have them here and they say it, then I can clip that. Then I can share that. Then I can show them this is who I'm talking about. You said they don't exist. They exist.
I've lived it my entire life with them.
Yeah.
And I know, I think I've told you, but like in the 80s, I went through Catholic conversion therapy for being trans.
Oh my God, I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, Holy.
Right? And like, that's one of the reasons I'm the way I am now, right? Like I don't put up with it, and I want anybody, just anybody, to stay away from that faith. It's not good. I mean, not just Christianity, not just Catholicism, but like
no, right, exactly. It's not. It's. I wish I could just, I don't know. I know there are people who see value in hanging out with Christians. I think that they think just like the Christians do, though. Like, I'll hang out with the LGBTQIA and maybe I'll change them.
Right. Well, can I address this blessed daughter thing?
Yes,
LGBTQ people are not mentally ill as a baseline of that identity, right? We might have other things, just like every other person in society does, that's not queer or rainbow, right? Being rainbow doesn't make us mentally ill.
A mass amount of straight people who are mentally ill, and that was my comment, is like, no one's free from mental illness. What the fuck kind of question is that? Like, that's so stupid.
And I just really need people to hear this right now. There is nothing wrong with being mentally ill. It's just an illness, okay? It's just like any other fucking illness. And all these people who judge you for that illness, a lot of times they actually have mental illness. They're just undiagnosed because Christians are taught not to ever seek help when it comes to mental illness, because they are taught that that is like a flaw in their relationship with God, that means they haven't fucking worked shit out with their God. Okay. So they go around being mentally ill and not being medicated and not going to therapy because they are mentally ill.
Right. All right.
That's
I have got to
exactly,
get
it's like
back
circular.
into the stuff I'm doing right now.
All right,
Nick,
Katie.
I'm so happy with the news. And I'll see you all later.
Take
All
care,
right,
Holly.
Katie, thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow Katie Holy Ghost. We really love you. Thank you so much
I
for
thought
being
I
here.
was already following Katie. Oh well, I fixed it.
Why does it say a plus there anyway?
I don't know. I
Why
fixed
do
it.
I fixed it too. Somebody told me today that the TikTok unfollowed a bunch of their people.
Oh, maybe that's what's going on, because I thought I followed Nick too, and it's still saying I don't,
And
but whatever.
I was
Right.
following you, Katie. We've been friends for a while. I don't know why it was showing that I didn't
know.
follow you. I'm glad I
Weird.
looked. All right, talk to you later, Katie.
All right,
Have a
Lulu.
great day.
One thing that pissed me off is when I reactivated my account, I noticed that a whole bunch of people that I had blocked are now unblocked. So I've been having to sit here and reblock people, and it's like, I had you blocked. I'm like, what did you do, TikTok?
TikTok's always doing something. Blessed, we can see you comment. You actually haven't shut up. I don't know why you're asking if you can comment. You've been commenting. Nobody's muted you. Nobody has done anything. You've been commenting and commenting. You won't come up because you actually don't have any power with your God. You're scared. You're scared. But we can see your comments for sure.
Why are you even asking the question in the first place? Is what I want to know. Like, where are you going with that line of questioning?
Me?
No, blessed daughter.
Oh, I'm like, me? I'll tell you where I'm going. No, just kidding.
And Pope, we all know that your God is a $5 cheeseburger from Wendy's, so whatever.
Ew, Wendy's. You guys, we're going to be live for about a half hour more. But if we reach our gift goal, I'll stay another hour. If you are a believer of a God or gods or a higher power, you want to come up and tell me how you define God, that's what we're talking about today. Go ahead, Liz.
I was just going to say that I am more powerful than that God because I requested her up. And surprisingly or not surprisingly, she is clearly not accepting.
Yeah, I saw that you sent an invite, but that's okay. I understand. I was really scared as a Christian too to talk to non-believers because I think that a lot of believers know that their faith is weak. I think that they know that, and that's why they don't, because they're like, fuck, they could just say one thing and my whole world would fall apart. And that's scary. That's really scary. And they were right. Somebody eventually said something and it unraveled the little sweater for me or whatever, right? But I didn't realize how much better my life would be once I allowed critical thinking to be, more common in my household.
I don't know if someone blocked them or muted them, so blessed daughter, let me be clear. It's because I feel that you have unseelie intentions with your question. That is why I said what I said. You came out of nowhere, and that was the first question you asked. And your
Let me get
question
their age
is,
real quick before they talk. Blessed daughter, can I get your age for TikTok
I'm
purposes?
34.
All right, go ahead, Nick.
and then your first question you ask in the comments section is LGBTQIA free from mental illness. It is such an oddball question that has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Sounds like bigotry.
Nobody is free from mental illness.
Okay, so that answers my question. Thank you.
So what was the reasoning
you've got mental illness
for?
too.
What was the reasoning
I
for the
never said I
question?
didn't. I was saying Trans people have a mental illness, in my opinion. So that's what I was saying.
Well,
I also believe
why?
that people who are gay have a mental illness.
No. You're going to answer me why. Why do you think trans people have a mental illness?
Because I believe it's gender dysphoria. To think that you are a different sex than what you were born biologically with.
So there
Sex
are
is not
people
gender,
who are
first of all.
born. Yes, so
That tells me you know nothing about what you're talking about.
there are people born with both a V and a P.
I'm gonna debate on trans stuff. The prompt says
Then why the
how
fuck
you
did
brought it
you
up.
come up here? You brought it up. Get the fuck
You
out of here.
invited
You
me.
brought it up and you fucking said
Yeah.
hateful, bigoted shit in my chat. And then when we bring you up to defend your bigoted bullshit stuff that you're talking about in my chat, you say stupid shit like sex and gender are the same thing, which shows me that you've done absolutely no fucking research on this. You've never even read a fucking paper on it. You just want to hate people. That's what your God teaches you to do. I am better than somebody else. I am always better than somebody else because my little Jesus told me I'm better. That is hateful. You're a piece of shit.
So the I in the LGBTQIA is intersex, and that is what I was just talking about, is people who were born with both plumbing. We'll put it that way for TikTok. The A is asexual, so ace. And that kind of varies from person to person. So, but basically, it's someone who has no want, need for sexual relations. Some of them are perfectly okay with just cuddles or kissing, but there's other aces that don't even want to do that. So that's what ace is.
And blessed daughter, I'm not bringing you back up. I don't tolerate bigotry. Power, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Oh yeah, I'm 35 years old. I'm actually an atheist, but what are you looking for though? We're looking for Christians or atheists?
We're actually talking to believers of a God or a God or gods or a higher power today. So it doesn't have to be a Christian, but just somebody who believes.
I'm an atheist. I actually study cosmology though, so I
Oh,
study
very
like how the
cool.
universe occurred and maybe how the universe may have occurred. We believe that the universe may have occurred from inside of a black hole, and that caused the expansion.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, Tahir, I'm just gonna call you Tahir because I know that's you.
Hi.
What'd you come up for?
Well, Blessed Daughter, I think, is still in here. So I just wanted to say that the DSM may recognize gender dysphoria, but not all trans people have gender dysphoria, and non-trans people can have gender dysphoria. So that's ignorant. Theme of today's episode: you are ignorant. Do some actual research and know what you're talking about before you go on a live and start spouting off harmful beliefs.
Non-trans people can have gender dysphoria. That's unheard of.
Right?
Unheard of.
Yeah. And just like, I don't know, just really, they just spew the same fucking bigotry over and over again. Like, can you come up with a new little bigoted thing that you want to say? Like, can you just come up with your own little bigoted idea if you want to be a bigot? Okay, come up with a new one.
You know, women who go get top implants because they're too small. That's gender dysphoria.
Right.
Those Christian men that really hate gay people who are out there buying peen pumps. Yeah, that's gender dysphoria. Also, the little blue pill. Yeah, that's also gender confirming. So, I mean, you know.
Anytime you have to confirm your gender because of your self-esteem, how it is related to your gender, that is getting into the gender dysphoria. Okay, you're having issues saying, I don't feel my gender because I'm losing my hair, because my boobs are saggy or not big enough, or whatever. My lip is really small. Look at my lip, you guys. I have no upper lip.
It's a beautiful lip.
No upper
or
lip
like
whatsoever.
men who may have, some chestages going on. Like I
Right?
know of men who specifically lost weight because it made them feel feminine to have the chest situation going on, and then they felt better after they lost weight.
Yeah, there's so many things. And, ignorance, I know there's a saying that says ignorance is bliss, but it's only blissful to the ignorant person. All the rest of us around you fucking are sick of your ignorance. Okay. We're sick of your shit. We're sick of you being ignorant and accepting your ignorance instead of educating yourself. It's not blissful to us.
Yeah, that was all I had for you.
Well, thank you for coming
Yeah.
up with the facts. I really
Right.
appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Annie's going to be coming up here for a minute. We'll say hi to Annie. Bye, Tahir. Oh, maybe Annie didn't mean to.
Just for a second, is the two people down below, are they cosmologists or study cosmology or anything like that?
No, Liz and Nick do not study cosmology. I do have friends who study cosmology. We do have a really good creator on here, Dr. Bliss, who studies cosmology and black holes.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to wonder if you want me to stay on here to hang out with you guys or what. Because I don't know. I don't know. I just thought
I
this come up because it's
appreciate
been a
it,
while. And happy
but we're gonna go ahead and drop
late
you.
New Year's.
Well, thank you. Happy late news. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down because we're going to be closing pretty soon. But I do appreciate you. And I do go live Monday through Friday. And whenever we're talking about that, I'd love it if you'd come up because that is not my area of expertise. So I really can't ever, I'm not a science guy. You know what I mean? So I really
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
you.
I
Thank
love
you so much
science.
for being here.
I love quantum mechanics. What I like to do. So.
I love learning about it from people like you. I really do because I had a good old American public school education. So that means I don't know shit about that. But thank you for being here. You have a good day. Yeah, Dr. Blitz is amazing. Make sure you guys check out Dr. Blitz if you're probably already following him, but just in case you
I
haven't.
try. I love science. I do, but I guess my brain doesn't, so it shuts off after a bit. But I have heard Dr. Blitz is amazing.
Yeah, I like the way Dr. Blitz really can explain things like I'm a 5-year-old because I am. I'm just in an old woman's body. So he helps me understand some really basic. I mean, he makes it sound more basic, if that makes sense. Like he'll take something really
Yeah.
difficult and really slow it down, And I like
You
that.
should really jump in there sometimes because I've had these deep questions and about the Great Expansion and stuff that the people I have asked, they're like, I don't fucking what?
Oh, and he does those ask me anything ones too, and it's really great. You should. I really love the way he answers the questions and stuff. Hey Matthew, good to see you. Welcome in. We've got about 15 minutes left, so I thought I'd play a few songs for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not doing the seat at the table. But I will play some of my other songs for you. When we get done here, I'm gonna find out how I do the whole Spotify thing. In case you guys don't know, every time you ask a creator, can you put your shit over here or something? They have to learn a whole new thing, okay? It's not like we just get pop our shit up over there, right? And with music, I have to go through a different company to like a different thing, and you sign up with them and they put your music out. You can't directly put your music out, just in case you didn't know that. So it's not that we're not trying to get our content out there so you all can enjoy it. It's a very big learning curve, okay? Like everything is OBS, TikTok Studio. Yeah. Oh, yeah, music labels are the
Crystal, we hit the 100K mark and the 200
Woo!
share mark.
Oh, thank you so much, you guys. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to go ahead. What song do you guys want to hear today? Any requests? If you don't request, then I know what I'm going to play. But if you do request,
My
what you want.
request is Crystal's Choice.
All right.
But I do have to go. I have to, right? I mean, she knows best, really. I have to go grocery shopping, but I will be listening on the way to the store. It was good to talk to you guys.
I love you. Good to see you.
I'm so happy. You
the
too.
three of us
I'm
up here
so
hanging
happy.
out again. It's nice.
I know.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead
Have
and
fun.
play Consent for everybody because I think that we need something, to get grooving. Consent. Consent. Respect the boundaries. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. No praying. No praying. No touch. Don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. You love your neighbor, but you better ask first. You pray on trauma with that holy thirst. You catch these hands if you lay hands on me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. If you don't get it, yes, you'll never have consent. Submit, bitch, don't get it. Don't even play without consent. Keep your filthy hands away. No praying, no praying, don't touch, don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. My yes, my no is a no. Bitch, learn your script, learn your script. If you know, you know. You quote the Bible when it benefits you. But what's your book? And fuck you too. You don't have to consent cause your God never does. He just takes what he wants and calls it love. Chosen without asking, punished for doubt. This is what they preach that love is about. Lord Jesus doesn't have to demand you provide. And now you still follow me and don't ask why. Heaven full of godly men do count and send me first class straight to heaven. My yes, my no is a no. Bitch, learn your scriptures if you know, you know. You quote the Bible when it benefits you. But my consent ain't subject to you. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. 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 No praying. No praying. No touch. Don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You're up my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. But bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. With that misogyny, you ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy, your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being you. Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect. But all I see is you begging for respect. You raid our bodies, dismiss our brains. They cry not all men
Miss me with your tone. Miss me with your sigh. Miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me without massage. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm a star. You're just an extra baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny.
Sounds like she says misogyny after she says misogyny. Sounds like she goes misogyny, misogyny. Hey, one quick thing I want to tell you guys. I've had a lot of musicians reach out to me and ask me if they could do my songs, or people ask me if they can use my songs on their videos. You guys could absolutely do any of that. I just ask that you give me credit for the lyrics. That is what I created. I did produce the music and the vocals using Suno, and I do have the rights to the songs, but I love for real musicians to play my songs. That would be fucking amazing. What the fuck? Hell yeah. Yes, please. I'm going to work on the Spotify when we get things wrapped up here. I want to thank you guys all for over 105,000 likes. Thank you, everybody over on YouTube, for all that you have done this morning. I wish I could see it all. I don't have monitors yet. We're getting it all. Okay. We're going to have, that's why it's going to cost a little money. I'm going to have a tower here. We're going to have a few monitors up so I can see when my Cash App, my Venmos, and PayPals come in, when I can see both chats at the same time. I'll even be on Twitch, man. I'm going to be on Twitch. Grandbaby's still not here yet. We think it'll be Tuesday tomorrow. I think because the only reason we think this, by the way, is our toddler granddaughter told us that it'll be Tuesday. She doesn't even know what Tuesday means, but she said it was going to be Tuesday. So we're we're thinking it's Tuesday. But she went in last night again for another false alarm. It's any day now. It's any day.
You know, if baby comes on Tuesday, that makes the toddler a prophet.
I know, right? It says you have a fascinating religion. I don't have a religion now. I'm nothing, but that's funny. I think you should look up what the definition of religion is. I am a person without that.
My religion is the religion of 5'4" blondes.
Hey, evil Yama, I'm gonna tell my daughter-in-law that, because maybe that's why. We got somebody coming up. Hey, Quad, how are you?
I'm good. I finally get to say hello to you. I just love listening to you. You crack me up.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you could come up and say hi.
Yeah, I kept missing you. I would come in and you're like, "No, I'm leaving," and I was like, "Shit, missed again." But yeah, I'm Quad. We haven't run into each other, I don't think, but I'm 39. I have run into Nick many times. We go way back.
Quad's hysterical. You'll like Quad.
Awesome.
I'm 39. I like long walks on the beach by myself, and I'm an ordained minister for the Pastafarian religion.
Oh, I've heard you talk on. I think you were on Daniel's live telling about it. Was it Daniel's live? I get everybody, like all the creators start to look alike. Right? I don't remember whose, but they were asking you about it, and you were explaining. It was really cool. I got to hear all about it.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, not very often do I get anybody that asks, but I have been getting lately. Which has been nice. It surprises me they don't know who Pirate Mosey is, but they know who Moses is. Like, come on.
That's funny. That's true. Now I'm nothing says you are free to call it whatever you like. I'm simply saying that it's neat. I still don't know what you're talking about because I don't know what you think is neat. Like I have no religion, so I don't know what it is that you think is neat. My lack of religion is neat, I guess. My lack of a belief of a god or gods. My lack of a belief in religion. That's neat. Okay, cool, dude.
Still can't get over that one night, Quad, when you came up on one of your backup accounts with one accent, and then you came up on your account with your accent, and then you started throwing your voice in the background as if though someone was there and you were having a conversation with them. That was hysterical. All to just troll a Christian. Like, that was
That's
the
hilarious.
funniest shit ever.
I don't know if that was the same time, but there was a woman on the panel who was getting really upset with my Anton character, and she didn't realize that I was arguing with myself. And she's like, I don't know who that Russian fella is, but he started to get on my nerves. You do not even know me. Why would you say such things to me?
That was the same one. Yep, that was the same one. And I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so damn hard.
I'm a logistics, and I just couldn't tell where that Russian fella was from. I know, right?
And then somehow the Russian was in your living room. Like,
I don't mean to offend you, but your American beer tastes like shit.
That's hilarious.
Always keep them on their toes. Because I do tend to get a lot of backlash. People are like, well, you don't even sound like you're from here. I'm like, why does that even matter? Like, they're like, well, you sound British. Like, well, no. It's the way English is supposed to sound when you pronounce shit correctly. And they hate that.
That's hilarious.
Because even the British go, he's not from here either, darling.
Oh, that's okay. America doesn't claim me either. So.
I'm okay with that, to be honest, especially with the current climate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm actually okay if Earth doesn't claim me. I could be from another planet. That's okay. I'm all right with that too. Maybe I don't claim Earth anymore.
My mother said she found me on the street and felt bad for me, so she brought me home. So I just tell people I'm from the moon Sinceris. It works for me. Better than Titan.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go grab some lunch, and then I'll figure out Spotify, and then we'll get a seat at the table up on Spotify for everybody. And then I have to finish one more song so I can get the Ex Parte album out on Spotify for you guys as well. So I've got some work to do. We also have a sermon hopefully tomorrow, and I think it's on Leah. Is it Leah or Leah? How do you say her name, Nick? Leia?
Leia?
Is she Princess Leia? Is
yes.
she Princess Leia?
Princess Leia. That's
maybe
her.
That's what my whole sermon will be about. Is Princess Leia now? Oh my God! I might have to do that. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned tomorrow.
I love you even more that you're into music, because I myself am a music producer, and
that's awesome.
I'm with Sound On, so I'm able to get on to Spotify, but I haven't done it because everything that I own music-wise is in tablets and on my phone. And I can't upload to Spotify or get to Sound On without having a computer, but I didn't know anyone had computers anymore. So I have a Bandcamp. I would love to hear your music and collab. That would be awesome.
Well, I write lyrics. I don't write music I don't sing. I write lyrics, and then I use an app to help me with the music and the vocals. But I'd love for real musicians to work with me instead of me using AI.
The only instrument I can play is the microphone.
Okay, that works.
So I'm really good at copy and paste. Not to give my secrets away, but I take non-copyright music and I speed it up, I slow it down, I take sound effects, I change it up.
Cool.
But yes, I love music like people, and people with great smiles and good hearts, and that's you, my dear. So I'm so glad I met you.
Thank you. you. Well, there was some dopamine for me for the day. Thank you so much. I needed that. I appreciate you too. And thank you so much for being here. Nick, I love you. My dear friend, Nicholas, I love you. And thank you for sharing your news with everybody today here on my show. I like that. And I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. And to everybody else, go watch all my pinned videos right now. It's going to take 12 minutes total. You're going to love it. I promise you, you'll love it. It's worth it. And then I want you to tag and share it with a friend if you can. Who should we rate? I know there's only 13 of us left. Who's out there right now? Anybody that we should go raid?
Pondering going live today, but I'm not sure yet. That last guest I had last night about broke me. So I don't know. Well, he said, he told me, well, Vikings sacrifice people, and I said, can you cite your sources? And he goes, that show on Netflix. I said, Vikings? That's your source? What? He broke my brain, Crystal. He broke
Oh my
it.
God. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Okay. So my sources would have been so stupid when I was a Christian. They would have been like Ken Ham. Okay. I would have been Ken Ham. I'm serious. Oh my God. Okay. I'm done cringing about myself right now. You guys go raid Joel Reed's Bible. And remember, when you raid Joel Reed's Bible, you go in and say, Crystaljae is better than you. I love you guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you around the mean streets of TikTok.
And they do more things. Yeah. Their consciousness is different than the ones that are really little. But they like, and there's a whole like, my